Never Give Up versus Team Liquid. Game 1.
Let's start the day off strong. It's Team Liquid versus RNG, and I'm joined by Syndrin and Febby.
Febby, yes.
Pleasure to have you guys here. We are moving forward, and it's going to be Team Liquid. Now, one of the biggest questions that I have is, has Liquid really figured out what they're good at? It seems that while they've been moving their way through the lower bracket, they had the BO1 versus Fnatic, and then they move forward in another BO3, and now we're still not really sure if Liquid knows what they're doing. They're starting to go back to Miracle Anti-Mage and stuff like that. Are they still trying to revert to Miracle carrying the game, or has we have finally helped them out enough that it's a joint effort?
I don't know. I don't think they've set on 4+1 the Miracle Anti-Mage. It was just a very good Anti-Mage game. That game. I try to figure out what their common denominator is, and I just couldn't. They're just trying out random stuff every game, and I think because of their experience, they can make it work too.
Yeah, it probably, if you're a team that have no idea what you're doing and you're top 8 at TI, you're doing pretty well, actually.
True.
I mean, there's definitely, I would say they're not as clear cut as they have been in the past. It's not as defined, and I agree with everything you guys said, that they're trying to find their way, but they still have this serious backbone that they can always fall back on, which means, you know, even if it's a different player on mid and maybe it's not Wii's forte to play hero like Necro, you have to remember the value of having players that all know how to play around specific heroes and strategies. Even if Wii's Necro is, let's say it's 90% as good as Matu's or whatever, if it's the best pick for the game and the team knows how to play with Necro, you can still go for that. So that's good to see.
In a more general sense then, in my opinion, this has been one of the TIs where we've had one of the least defined metas this deep into the tournament. It's been a countless number of games. We've had the entire group stage. We've moved through a great deal of the main event bracket, and there is no clear oh, it's the death ball TI, oh, it's the split push TI or anything like that. Is that unique to you? Because you've been to a great many TIs. Do you usually find a meta crystallizing at this point, or is this usually pretty typical?
I think something that you go first.
I think it's due to the fact that the patch is so well balanced. So none of these styles of death ball or 4+1, none of them are clear to be better than the other. I think that's why.
This reminds me a little bit of TI4, where we had a lot of really good games with a lot of diversified strategies, and then when we came to the absolute last day, it was now we know what the patch is and this is what we're gonna do.
To be fair though, Newbie had pretty much identified Death Ball to be extremely effective probably around right now in the tournament.
Yeah, pretty much, but it wasn't catching on with everybody else.
Yes.
So what I'm not saying here is that this is going to be like TI4 where we get to a grand final and everybody's playing the same stuff and it's going to be 20-minute games. That's not the point here, but we've had previous TIs where we have this development, and toward the end of the tournament, teams kind of agree on what's the really big heroes. It actually, to an extent, it happened similarly last year with OG running a lot of Spectre, and then when we got to the finals, LGD were like, Spectre is also really good, and suddenly Shaker was really good, and Enchantress was really good. You had these 3 or 4 heroes that both teams just valued over everything else, and I could definitely see that happening again this year, but the variety of heroes has been amazing for sure. And
I've got some more variety.
But I don't know how atypical that really is, actually, when you think back on TIs. I think it's a kind of natural development when you think about it. We play, how many days of games is it? It's 10 days of games.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the hero roster is that big. Teams come in with completely different ideas of what's the best. So it will take some time to crystallize toward the end.
The one thing that does seem to be clear, Elder Titan, an extremely strong hero, both throughout the group stage and the main event. Liquid first snap picks it up, and it's before seeing anything like a Wraith King, which we've typically been seeing, or any sort of combos to work with and synergize with the natural order magic resistance reduction.
I think it's because RNG loves that hero too, ET.
So it's a denial pick.
Yeah, and Liquid loves it too. I thought they were gonna fight for ET, and I think RNG knew that they were gonna pick it, and then they picked the Abaddon Ember.
Yeah, that's something that's very characteristic for RNG. They're the team that rates Abaddon the absolute highest, I think, out of all teams here. First facing it like this when you have only one hero to go by. He is pretty good against Elder Titan though, so I think there's some merit to this pick. If Elder Titan gets off a really good stomp, that could set off a team fight. Abaddon can pop the ulti, he can Aphotic Shield an ally, and they can both run away from the stomp. Similar to how he has been a counter to Magnus in the past, counting out that RP, which, when you think about it, a good Elder Titan stomp is kind of like an RP, just on a way lower cooldown and much bigger range.
Yeah. It
So-
enables the Ember pick a lot because Ember doesn't hit buildings, Abaddon can hit buildings. It allows Ember to just go run in freely because he's got that apodic shield.
It's a strong pairing. Do you know the interaction? If you're aphotic shielded and flame guarded, the aphotic shield does
take the damage first.
Yeah,
it takes the damage first,
Yes.
and then you start taking.
And it would be
okay.
pre-reduction, so
Yeah.
yeah. Which makes him, I mean, everyone loves the lawnmower build for Ember, so you got
The
like,
land mower.
Landmower? Oh, yeah, okay. I mean, there's some grass on the Dota map. But yeah, you just slap a lot of damage on him. It's another reason why Grimstroke is oftentimes very popular with the Ember Spirit. If you can put some buffs on this hero, it makes him extremely powerful, which so far they have the Aphotic Shield. Magnus is obviously a very popular pairing with the Ember Spirit. Hasn't been banned out by Liquid. But there's a lot of potential to give this Ember some steroids. And Liquid, pairing their Elder Titan up with a Tiny, who can definitely take advantage of the magic resistance from Natural Order with his burst damage.
Do you like Tiny as a pick against these two? I don't feel like these matchups are particularly good for Tiny. Ember Spirit with Flame Guard can negate the majority of Tiny's combo. Abaddon can't get one-shot by Tiny's combo either, even if he's a support, which could be the case, but probably a 3 for Flyby. There's nothing here that tells me this is a good Tiny game. You know, other teams in this position might have picked something like OD into both Ember and Abaddon, having these long fights with a lot of insta-steal. That's the opposite type of fight of what Tiny plays. Tiny jumps in and bursts something, and that's what sets up the fight. But I think against this RNG lineup, you want to have consistent damage output, right? There's the OD ban, by the way, so they banned it themselves. Interesting.
Yeah.
I think with this Axe build, the Tiny, it got a new look. Before, it kind of hit a linear timing, but now with Axe, Daedalus build, it just scares more and more to the late game.
Do you think that's good against Ember, though? Like, same question, basically.
I agree with you though. I think they needed something of a hard catch, especially if they picked Ember so early. And they only have ET, right? So this ET can have a very good game. It's gonna be very hard to catch him if Liquid doesn't pick any more stunts.
So what do you think is the current likelihood for where this Tiny would land? Because is it possible that they may just like it in a 1v1 Ember versus Tiny mid lane matchup?
It's possible. I think for Liquid, it's one of the heroes that makes a lot of sense to play on Weeha if you want to have the true hard carry of the game be Miracle.
Such as an anti-mage, which he's been,
for example,
defaulting to quite a bit.
We saw a game from OG last night with Thompson playing Tiny and creating tons of space for, I think it was that a Jugger that game for Ana? I don't remember exactly.
Yes, that was what it was.
But we could see the same kind of recipe be followed here by Liquid. RNG are going to grab the Mirana, so now they have two mobile heroes in the Ember and the Mirana playing against this unreliable catch of Elder Titan against these two heroes. Mirana is kind of vulnerable against Tiny though. She gets caught, she can die pretty easily. But so far, mobility seems to be a pretty solid solution for RNG. IO, third pick. Liquid, can you believe it?
Wow.
Liquid are
Getting away with it this deep into the draft.
This would be a hero that every team would ban against Liquid first phase in the past.
Yeah.
GH's IO is
Honestly,
probably the best in the world,
yeah,
on support at least.
at the time when Liquid was not doing that great this season, one of the things that I attributed it to was the fact that IO wasn't in Captain's mode. So not only did they not have access to it, but you basically got a free ban against Liquid every single game.
Absolutely.
So right now RNG is probably thinking, what's a good hero for Gyro? Because it's pretty obvious that Gyro's coming up, especially with the ET.
Even more mobility. Stampede.
But that means Abaddon is most likely going to be a 5.
Yeah,
That's
now
true.
he looks like a support. And honestly, I don't mind. I think Centaur is really good in this game. Again, more mobility against Elder Titan, trying to avoid the stomps. You have a way of getting in on top of the IO when he has Blink Dagger. Ember, in my opinion, a great hero against IO, so Liquid not really set up too well for that matchup. And Ember is also good against Elder Titan. We talked about him being able to dodge the stumps, but something that's really good against Elder too is being able to get on top of him so you can kill him and take him out of the fight. And having these heroes that just jump in the backline and blow it up can be super useful against both IO and Elder. So I'm really liking the direction RNG is taking this. And the one thing that their lineups may be lacking is a little bit better tower damage or a little bit more team fight.
Yeah, this upcoming pick from Liquid is probably going to be the game winner here. So I think they're taking quite a long time to discuss what it is.
So you're assuming now would be the time that they find the pairing for the IO and then maybe save your 5th pick for your mid lane?
Don't know if I like Gyro here though.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they're talking about it. Other options such as Juggernaut, or like any other heroes.
So you don't like the gyro? Why exactly?
I think it can get bursted. Oh, they still go for it. I think they were debating and then they are like, sir, they YOLO'd. I think it's okay with the ET.
Yeah, so Liquid's lineup has great synergy with itself, right? It definitely makes a lot of sense. Yes, but with what they're facing, my concern for them is can they actually get on top of heroes with Gyro? What Gyro wants is that heroes stand still or move slowly so he can get on top of them with Rocket Barrage, so he can hit a good call down and get all these flat cannon attacks off. But as we've mentioned multiple times now, RNG's lineup is super mobile. So how do you ensure that your Gyro gets the damage off? Maybe he's relatively tanky with the IO support, right? But IO can also just get blown up this game.
Yeah, I agree. RNG's heroes, they're not just mobile, but they're also very tanky too. And I think Liquid, IO is a save, but I don't think it's enough. The RNG has a lot of damage too.
And now what Liquid needs to decide going into this next phase is if Tiny is a 2 or a 3. I'm pretty sure that this is Kuro playing the Elder Titan and GH Wisp, which would put the Tiny on either Weeha or Mind Control. Mind Control plays a great offlane Tiny, by the way, so it's definitely a possibility. But they will be picking blindly on the last one. They don't know the matchup. Oh, is that the first of the tournament?
I think it might be. I think it is.
Oh.
So knock another one down the list of unplayed heroes. We are getting very, very close to, I think that maybe 6 unplayed heroes left?
Yeah, now I think it's down to 5.
5, yeah, exactly. Wow. This is your boy, Cinder. I've seen your Twitch profile picture.
I used to love this hero, and I still love it. It's just not been in as good of a place lately as it used to.
Okay.
I think its laning can be okay because Abaddon is not that strong of a laner. It's just the top lane from RNG.
The question, sorry, Feb, the question that I have here is that can Nightstalker push? Because I look at Liquid's lineup and I see that this is a team that kind of struggles to get tower damage in. And Nightstalker, obviously, with the new Dark Ascension, he gets a lot of damage, he gets a lot of mobility. So in terms of map control, Liquid looks amazing right now. But in terms of taking structures, I'm a little bit skeptical.
The way Nightstalker pushes is by giving really good vision and diving the enemy team when they're trying to defend and kill them off and get the first pick, get the start of the fight on your terms. And then if they try to defend, they just end up having extra casualties.
So you just have a numbers advantage.
Basically, that's the idea. And speaking of numbers advantage, they also have IO. So there's a lot of ways of getting skirmishes going your way. One really strong suit for Nightstalker in this game is that he has an undispellable silence. So when he's on top of heroes with the silence aura from Crippling Fear, a hero like Ember can't get away, he can't even itemize against. Sure, you can buy yourself some time with Yules. Maybe Force Staff can be a possible solution. You force out an instant Remnant. It's a good way of countering out a bad end so he can't save heroes. I think Nightstalker's job in this game is literally use ulti, fly in on top of whatever mobile heroes you can find and just keep them in place for Gyro so that somebody can die.
Or sometimes you can just hug your IO Gyro and like if a Centaur wants to jump in, blink hoof stomp, he's going to get Crippling Fear, not going to be able to cast that stun.
That's more of a defensive approach.
Yeah, so it's either counter initiation or initiation, but he gives that kind of flexibility.
I'm scared for Liquid's teamfight because I feel like they don't have great lockdown against the Centaur Stampede.
Especially against a hero that has built-in spell immunity, Lifestealer, the last pick for RNG.
Yeah, and how they're going to play the map for Liquid is they're going to be split, but they have Moonlight from RNG's side, so it's going to be pretty hard for Liquid.
Fair enough, gentlemen. We are just in game 1, though. It's a best-of-3 series, and I want to hear from a man who may be able to break this all down for us. It's BSJ with the last word.
In this game, I want to highlight the dynamic I feel is going to happen during these team fights. Usually you think about all these wombo combos. Both these teams have a pretty good amount of burst and a lot of tanky heroes. So what that means is they can't just reliably go in and start the fight immediately. They have to poke and prod at each other with the steering chains into arrow combo, using the Centaur ulti to commit, using the Nightstalker and ET Spirit Vision in order to set up for the tiny burst. I think it's going to all come down to who gets the initiation, who gets caught out, and who's able to stop the counter initiation from the IO save as well as the Abaddon save. But here we go, going into game 1, OD Pixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much, Brian. Yes, RNG up against Team Liquid to start this day off. And with the drafts coming in, we're seeing a bit of flair, a bit of new heroes, right? This Mind Control Nightstalker coming in as the last pick for Liquid. You're sort of pointing at the RNG lineup, though. You seem to like what they've got going on. Explain to me why does this Night Stalker not just ruin everything? It seems like with this AoE silence, a lot of the heroes on RNG's side are going to have a lot of issues.
Yeah, I definitely do think so, that the AoE silence is very good, but that is a really good last pick lifestealer. Looking at the whole lineup of Liquid, they don't really have anything to deal with this hero. They've got high burst damage, they have the crippling fear, which is one thing that can be a bit annoying for that lifestealer.
Well, that's the
Look at his
thing, right?
matchups. He's got some very good ones coming into play in the lane as well as in that mid game.
All right, well, let's see if RNG are able to make those early plays, because, yeah, as soon as the nighttime comes in and mind control starts to stalk around the map, if he can, get over the trees, if he, getting on top of the lifestealer early, it sort of goes both ways, right? Because he's not going to be able to press Rex. He's going to be silenced for the good 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds, depending on the level of that fear.
I think it all depends on who comes out to a good start in the laning phase. We're going to see how they decide to choose their lanes and put pressure onto Liquid. Already seeing that they want to make sure that Mind Control gets off to a good start. They're sending the Gyrocopter bottom. They're looking to pressure Lifestealer. So I like this approach a lot by Liquid. I think this is super important for them in this laning aspect of the game. And we're seeing now more rise of the Tiny. I feel like this, we kind of were seeing it toward the end of the day yesterday, just Tiny seeming, and even the beginning of the day, of course, from Secret. Tiny just seeming to be a top pick now for the mid lane. Just super strong matchups, and you can just create so much havoc in space. And looking at Liquid's draft, they do have a lot of things that work well with it, right? They have the Tiny, the Gyro, and the ET. These three guys synergize really well together because they're all mixed. They're physical and magical all together.
Sure, but at the same time, right, it's not going to be easy for Weehard to pop off, because you look at the heroes on RNG side and there's Aphotic Shields, there's Flame Guards, there's Centaurs with high HP, there's a Lifestealer with Rage. There's a lot of ways for them to counterplay the combos.
Yeah, and there's a lot of mobility too, like the panel was mentioning. Tanky heroes and mobility can cause a definite problem for the Tiny, same thing with also that Lifestealer who has the built-in Rage. But we will see how it ends up as right now. The lane swapping begins.
I was going to say, we are going to see RNG move their lanes around, but the same to be said by Liquid. As soon as RNG start to head down bottom, Mind Control is going to go the same way as well.
I love that. They're like, guys, we're swapping lanes, and Monet's like, wait up, I got to dig. Dig in the mid lane.
I mean, hey, he got a player card pack. He's going to be able to buff up his fantasy team for the next 2 days.
I actually love that so much. And he still makes his way. They're waiting to see what the lanes are, because he wants to be matched up away from that aggro, from the aggro lane. He wants to be laning versus that Night Stalker in particular as a Lifestealer. So Lanem, he's going to get some freebie experience and last hits versus GH. Last time I saw GH as a Crystal Maiden in a 1v1, he killed Cuckoo as a Crystal Maiden versus a Sand King. But he's an IO this time, so Lanem should be able to just secure those last hits freely versus it. And look at this, Miracle's just, look at them just dancing. They're just dancing back and forth in the mid lanes, unable to decide
they really
which lane they want to have.
They're going jungle. Oh, here we go, you know. If you can't find the lane matchup you want, go to the jungle. It's sort of the pub approach.
What is going on right
I don't
now?
like my lane. I don't want that lane.
Look, Mind Control too. He's just like, all right, I'll jungle as well.
All right, this is the new strat, ladies and gentlemen.
Miracle's just dancing back and forth, still in the mid lane.
See, when my teammates were doing this, I thought they were game ruining. Little did I know they were pulling out TI strats before the meta.
They were ahead of the time.
They were.
They're I mean, this is actually...
Okay, I mean...
I didn't expect to see this, but it looks like we have a one-position Kuroki Elder Titan free farming in the top lane.
Wow. This is remarkable.
Well, that's going to change some timings and peakness for some heroes, as some heroes are just not going to be pressured now, and others were going to have more experience than you would have imagined. I mean, it's a level 3 Elder Titan on Kuroki already in this game. Now we're seeing the lanes are starting to get matched. They're going to have the Monet up versus that ET as well as Night Stalker, but I mean, the thing is that Kuroki's got level 3 already. A level 2 Asper at this point in the game. Look at Afu.
He's punched.
He's just dead.
Whoa.
Deny, though.
He does indeed. Nice miscoil from Afu. We'll take that opportunity away from Kuro, but even so, you saw the power of that ET.
Giving ET an early level 3 like this and he gets boots, he can run down anybody in the game with absolute ease. You're going to have plus 100 damage if you get just 2 heroes caught by that spirit. All right, we're getting back to normal Dota now. Everybody's
like the lanes
getting
are
back
settled.
into the lanes, but like we said, high level Elder Titan, high level Mirana might be able to change a little bit of factor here into this laning start here.
What about this, the bottom lane? We can see Miracle and GH, this Gyro, they should be fairly safe, or do you think there's definitely a chance that RNG can get on top of GH in this lane?
If you get caught by an arrow, you're probably dead. Unless you're inside of the creep wave.
Oh, mid lane.
GH can't.
Oh, it's close. It's very, very close. Setsu will come out on top of that attempt from Weehard. Both of them trying to go for that first blood. Setsu's going to win it off the bottom lane.
There's that arrow.
RNG, they make the connection. As they get GH, Miracle chased down, will be able to get back behind the tower. They won't dive any further. But a quick 2 kills from RNG to kick these lanes off as they find those favorable matchups.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a tough lane, right? We see, like as we were talking about, Centaur versus Gyro, I think we've seen it a lot in this, over this year. Just how much base damage you have advantage over the Gyrocopter, and also they have a double stun lineup. So if you step up too far, high-level Mirana, as we mentioned, even though it was a support Mirana who got all that experience, does dish out a lot of deeps. 2-0, Weehaw. Still looking to be aggressive, just break up that Flame Guard immediately when it does get used by Setsu, so he can play aggressive in the lane. And Weehaw should be able to farm still quite freely here. Oh, but he misses his range creep. He actually tree through and missed it. Just a little bit there.
Still having that slight edge on Setsu and CS, but it's very, very close between the two at the mid.
He sent them back to base. Flame Guard is going to be up soon, but he doesn't actually want to stay in the lane because he's just too low. Doesn't want to have to use the courier to bring out any more regen. Yeah, Weehaw, even though he died, is able to come out of an event and another deny by Afu.
Yeah, very important that he gets these. I mean, as you said, Kuro already having a brilliant start in terms of experience. If he was getting these kills as well, this lane would be an absolute nightmare for RNG, despite being able to force this lifestealer against the Night Stalker lanes.
Yeah.
Very important that Afu gets these off every time. Now they'll turn. Open moves onto Kuro. Mind Control trying to body block them off, but Afu's on top of him, and this time the miscoil will be used offensively. Afu able to strike back as he comes back into the lane and take out Kuro.
Lifestealer being one of, I think I say it every single time I see Lifestealer versus Delta Titan, it's like the best carry hero in the game, it feels like, versus the AET, because you just can run him down, he's high strength, you don't really care about getting your armor negated. And even though it's a high level ET, he actually hasn't gotten any more experience, he's now hitting that level 4, but he's going to be going for phase boots on Kuroki, so he's really looking to be extremely aggressive on this Elder Titan, just punch heroes in particular.
Oh yeah, he wants to make the most of those early levels.
Yeah. Nighttime hits too, so Mind Control only level 3 up top because of all these constant lane swaps, so he's probably going to stay up here for the time being to farm. And even though bottom, we said that they were going to get pressured, they did get killed that one time. Miracle's still able to secure some farm versus the Centaur with the IO back.
They're trying on mid. We are very low. Zafu's going to come in, looking to dive for 2 of them. Aphotic shield on Setsu, allowing him to continue to chase. We are trying for the jukes in the trees, and Kuro, he's just slamming down onto Setsu, punching him with a big old stapler. Chains are back up.
He's got a spirit and a stomp, Setsu. He's going to have to juke this one out. He's got the slide.
He's not going to use it.
To get it.
Didn't even turn to try and go for the slide dodge. Would have been hard to do.
It would have been hard because it's only level 1, but
now Kuro, he's looking to run down another. Afu's in trouble. He's being sandwiched in by the 2 of them. Wrap around from Weehaw, pops the mango.
Find Afu as well.
They'll get the both of them. Liquid getting themselves their first 2 kills in the game. And with those catches around the mid lane, another death on Setsu. Sure, he didn't die earlier, but he was pushed out of lane, so it's more time where Weeha's going to have that advantage.
Kuroki. Of course. Okay, he actually was. Oh, those were not his blades of attack. All right, cool. I was wondering how he got that gold. He's actually just going to be going for more than 5 position build. I was like, wow, Kuroki's going phase boots. Maybe because of that start he had, but he actually passes off the blades of attack to Mind Control. Mind Control will have phase boots now in that laning phase, which will put some pressure on Monet here. And as we saw bottom, they were forcing away RNG quite a lot here with this aggro dual lane with Weehaw coming down now too. They actually just have so much sustain because of the IO.
Weehaw sneaking around the back of the tree line. Wants to get this wraparound on Lanham. They've got the 3 of them here, Liquid. Lanham actually ends up juking past him. They'll look towards Flyby. He's a bit of a tankier hero to go for, but tossing him back into the rocket barrage will start to bring him low. Pop the stick charges, missiles on the way over. We are slapping him down with the tree.
And he has an arcane rune.
They'll get the kill. Flyby's gone. A successful rotation from Weehaw. Manages to open up that bottom lane to be back in a bit of Liquid's favor. Mid lane, dive onto Kuro. Stomp will slow down Setsu momentarily, but the shield gets it back off. He can jump forward with the Remnant. Kuro slowly burning down to the Flame Guard. A couple of Remnants from Setsu will seal the deal.
Still off to a very solid start here for RNG with these moves. I mean, Afu, right? He's just moving around the map, even though he's in Abaddon. Abaddon, as their high position, is able to make moves around the map like this and even deny yourself a couple of times. Very impactful. And we see swaps more from Liquid. They want to, looks like they want to actually have a better matchup here in that mid, as Weehaw just continues to roam around and try to set up for kills. Come on, in.
Trying to turn a bit, give a bit of damage back the way of Weehaw.
Uh-oh. Setsu. He got too over-aggressive.
Whoa. He's dead.
Now Afu.
He's straight up dead. Liquid just turning around at Setsu. I mean, I don't know what he was trying for there. Walking right into the face of the gyro. He didn't have he had a remnant. He did not have the mana to jump or escape.
He was checking rune, right? He was going to check that 8-minute
It
rune.
caught him by surprise.
It spawned bottom. Weehaw was the one who was able to get a haste rune instead, so yeah, he gets...
That was always a risky play to go for, though, without any sort of escape potential.
But they're able to make so many aggressive moves. Like, look at this. Weehaw's pretty much doing what we saw Topson as well as mid one. Like, what we've been seeing all these Tinies now doing. You just run around and just try to set up kills constantly. And then you park your carry hero in a good farming lane, which is that mid one, so they can set up for kills for themselves.
Ooh, that's a smooth one from Setsu. Sidestep with the Remnant. Gets him out of the stop. Gets him back in the game and getting a kill. Very important for Setsu. We can see CS is sort of low on him, but net worth-wise, it's very even. He is up there, second highest, right behind Miracle's Gyro.
He's constantly moving around. I mean, the IO and the Gyrocopter are literally just moving from lane to lane. They're gonna have Relocate ready quite soon, so that we're gonna have to watch for those global potential moves that could catch RNG off guard pretty early on. It's just about done there for GH. Great ways to set up for it too, in particular with that Tiny running around making space, but also Mind Control. He's able to get on top of targets with that Crippling Fear. We know how long that silence is at night. You can easily set up for rotations.
They have got the Stampede, they've got the Ember with his Remnants. There are ways for RNG to react to even some of those global moves. Which are not necessarily the easiest for Liquid to pull off unless they can get themselves on top of the Centaur, perhaps. Get that silence on and make sure there's no Stampede save for the rest of the team. Moonlight Shadow used from RNG. They'll set up for the 10-minute runes. Mono will be able to take it right away from Weehaw. No detection, of course, on himself, and in fact, RNG, they're the ones to strike. They'll look towards Kuro. Kuro's dead. In comes the backup. Miracle and GH trying to turn things around. Setsu has the Remnant, ready to throw it to the high ground. They'll get themselves away from the Relocate. That's the difficulty of trying for these plays. There's always going to be that chance for a quick escape from some of RNG's cores.
I love that, right? It's like you mentioned, there's the double global, there's the global on both sides, where if the Relocate comes, you Stampede or you Moonlight Shadow and disengage. So good move by RNG, and that's the first nighttime that does go down, but it looked like this was more of a farming nighttime. They wanted to just have Mind Control parked up top so we can get those levels for now. Because making moves around the map is nice soccer. If you move in that first night and you're not successful, you ruin your game as a core. So you have to get that farm.
Weehaw, he's got backup coming in. TP will be there, and Setsu. Arfu won't see the opportunity to dive any further. They don't want to take the chances with GH coming in with the heals.
They know Miracle's isolated a bit down bottom, though, since the IO did leave and show himself on him. Very low, though.
Good sort of coverage again from Kuro. Stomp from the tree line, make sure that they cannot stay on top of the gyro. Miracle gets the space to back off. He's finishing off his drums, looking for the Axe next.
They're going to try to play pretty fast with the gyro as well as that Night Stalker. You're playing versus Lifestealer. You know what Lifestealer is going to do. He's got the gloves already queued up, so he's going to go for a Midas. So going to try to want to take advantage of that a little bit here.
In the mid from Weehaw will take out the Flame Guard. Setsu. Again, having Arfu sort of constantly sat behind him makes him a very hard target for Weehaw to go for. Even with the good levels on the Tiny, he cannot burst this Ember.
I like that we see Monet. He's going to Midas. It's not going to be the Radiance, though, this game, of course. He's going to be going for that armlet build. You're playing versus Gyrocopter. You want to have that early timing so you can fight back. And they also have, of course, their own... They have their Infest Bombs. They have a Centaur. They have an Ember Spirit. They even have the Miranda, too, which is a little bit of a crazy one if you do leap in and go for those. But they have ways for Monet to get on top of targets in particular. Just has to be a little worried he doesn't get kited out. That's why a lot of players, they go for that Radiance build, because sometimes, you know, the movement speed. Gyrocopter's going to be running around at, like, 450 at some point because of that IO tethered up. So we'll have to watch that one if Monet is able to stick on targets.
Still a very close early game. Both teams
so many rotations.
Sort of mirroring the pressure of one another. Dive in on the top tower will be responded to by TPs coming in. They're looking for Mind Control. He gets the Crippling Fear out. They're silencing them all in the AoE. Toss back now the combo from Miracle. He'll look forward to Monet, but Monet's rage is up. He'll turn, knock down onto Mind Control. They're bringing him low with a missed coil, but not quite enough damage to bring down the Night Stalker, as Liquid will stay all alive. See if they can chase and find anyone on the retreat. Stomp doesn't quite catch Arfu. Arfu, he's not going to come back in. RNG wants to try and take this fight. They're on top of Weehaw. Ult gets sent down by Kuro to split up the chase. Another shield from Arfu buys him some time, but again, another deny from Arfu. Every single time taking away that chance for Liquid to get a bit of golden XP, as he's hitting these missed coils perfectly.
Kuro was just pretty much, that looked like it was more so of a zoning Earth Splitter, and then they just caught Arfu with it, but set deny again. Both teams just matching the aggression.
In terms of what the bigger items that are going to be important to look out for, Weehar's Blink halfway away for it. As you said earlier, definitely the Lifestealer's Armlet. Monet, he'll be looking to grab that one before they try and force anything else.
Okay, so it is going to be Armlet into the Radiance, like, because the movement speed thing in particular, he does have to make sure that he can. We saw, was it? I've seen a couple people doing.
We'll go Armlet,
yeah,
then
you
Radiance.
go Midas, Armlet, then you still go back for that Radiance, because you're going to have trouble sticking on targets.
Sure, I guess they're sort of the best of both worlds, right?
Yep.
You're able to fight, you're able to turn up and be this very scary hero very early on, but you're going to still go for that scaling potential.
Yeah, and it gives you just flat armor, right? You have your phase boots for flat armor, you have a Helm of Iron Will for flat armor, so ET's aura in the later stages will be able to get prevented a little bit. Good fighting items.
Another push onto the tower. Weehart having Kuro by his side. Miracle and GH over to the triangle area. Continue to hit those timings. Miracle, he is top net worth, and he's on track for a very good timing on picking up the Aghanims at this rate. He's already got the Blade of Alacrity done. Bit of time. Mid lane, Weehart. Trying for a catch. Monet using the rage to make sure that he cannot be tossed back. They'll turn towards Flyby instead, but being the Centaur War Runner, a Rocket Barrage won't be enough.
Liquid bringing all 5 heroes. So RNG, they're able to split up the map a little bit there. Setsu's farming top, Lanem farming bottom. Now we have these bounty runes, and it's going to be nighttime. Arrow, GH.
And Monet, Lanham, they're getting in on it. Can Lanham get the pickup in time? He's not going to be able to do so. Miracle will grab it now, turns towards Lanham with the homing missile. With the leap up, Lanham's out of way. They won't chase. They'll just sell for the bounty runes, 2 for 2. Back up top. RNG finding a catch on Kuros. He's left behind by Mind Controllers and Weehar as they return to their respective lanes. A 2K lead now for RNG, starting to ramp up a little bit faster and a little bit more evenly spread. You see both Monet and Setsu standing very close to the farm of Miracle, whereas Weehar and Mind Control slipping a little behind.
Lanem and Flyby are kind of both being these 3 positions right now. Lanem just having such an early good start since he was given kind of that cold roll bottom. He's actually been given 50 last hits on this Murata. He's going to have a very early Atos set up for this team. Okay.
It just seems we're seeing Liquid's lineup trying to chase for a lot of kills with a lot of heroes, but they're just struggling to find the grab. There's so many ways for RNG to get away from them.
Mike.
Now, trying to play with the fear, but RNG, they're ready to turn Setsu. Beautiful jump in from outside of the silence, gets back in, sets up for the lockdown onto Kuro. They'll come in with the old Stampede Jews to get themselves out of the initial team fight of Liquid. Weehart back in on the front lines, goes for the avalanche line. I'm able to turn with the burst. Miracle healed up by G8 for Setsu. He's got the grab with the chains onto Mind Control. Liquid are having to back off. Another big sleight of fist hits them all as Setsu continues the chase. Arfu's on the front line, but they turn. He's silent. The crippling fear causing issues for Arfu, and now Setsu, he's falling low. The silence will end just in time, allowing Setsu to get back over to the prepared remnant in the going for the TP. Mind Control nearly finding him to get the vision for that void, but he will get out. Arfu, the only one to fall.
His Dark Ascension ended like a second before he actually got into that high ground there to be able to get that slow. Oh my god, that was very close for them getting that cleanup kill. We saw the Crippling Fear really coming into play there, but RNG also, we see they're very tanky, very sustainable. We see as soon as that Stampede gets popped, they can choose to go for which targets they want, and they just have so much front line that they can just close in onto those targets. They didn't get on top of GH's IO though, so he was able to get a lot of sustain for his team as well.
Toss back here onto Arfu. They've got the sleep on both him and Setsu. Setsu's going to try and help out, but Arfu's already dead. Now they're on top of Setsu. Missile's headed his way. Should be fine. He's got the 3 remnants. With him back behind the tower, he'll get out of there. Liquid with the full 5-man, ready to put some pressure on mid.
They're just using that nighttime. They want to keep this pressure going. They have Crippling Fear up in 5 seconds again.
Looking for the wraparound. The balls will hit. They know that someone's hidden. They've popped the dust. Sentries down. They have the vision on Flyby. Lanham's going to try and help out with the arrow connection onto Mike's job. A miracle. There's the ult coming down. Monet Rage and an escape from him. He cannot stand tall for the fight, but Setsu's going to try and jump in and look for the cleanup. Change onto both Weehart and Kuro. Kuro drops down the ult to split them up, and Weehart's in with the combo onto Setsu. Setsu's out of mana. Setsu's dead. He overcommits and gets punished heavily by Liquid.
You have to be really careful when you commit forward like that. There's so much burst damage. Sure, you have Flame Guard, but you're playing versus Gyrocopter with Tiny with the Natural Order. We mentioned it during the draft. You do have to be a bit cautious there. when you commit forward. And GH, he's getting left alone in the fights. Even though they have ways like Sin was talking on the draft panel, they have a lot of ways of getting on top of the IO. But GH is not getting killed in the fights. He is getting all of his bottle charges off, all of his stick charges off, just keeping the sustain going for Miracle. Yeah. And now Miracle's got an X.
Yeah. GH 2-1-5. His positioning has been perfect. Every single fight that Liquid have looked for so far.
They're protecting him really well too, right? Mind Control is just kind of charging in. See the skill build from Mind Control as well. Only the 2 points in Void because, yeah, sure, your damage scales up, the cooldown scales up, but it's really all about that long duration silence and the cooldown. Crippling Fear scales insanely. 8 seconds silence at night with a 15-second cooldown. It's got 50% uptime. It's pretty absurd. So that's definitely going to cause problems as we may see early BKBs get picked up after their first damage items on the side of RNG just to deal with that Crippling Fear. Miracle.
Look for the wrap round. Arrow to follow up, they'll jump in, but again, GH in with the tether, starting to give Miracle the sustain he needs to turn and look to try and fight back. Arfu's the focus. Borrow time. We'll borrow him enough to get over the river, but the ball's slapping into the side of him, slowing him down. Arfu this time will not be able to deny himself. Miracle now dominating as Liquid are coming out on top of these little skirmishes.
They're really taking advantage of the nighttime.
Onto Setsu. Have they got the damage during this amount of silence and lockdown? The stomp setup is getting Weehaw in close. He's in with the combo. Setsu tries to throw out the random. Will be able to jump down to the low ground. Arrow holds back Weehaw, but Liquid, they're chasing onward. The homing missiles go in the way of Setsu. It's pretty deep behind the tier 2 tower, so RNG will want to try and fight back. The combo's out from Flyby with the mech heal. They're back up to pretty much full Liquid. They're diving in towards the tier 3s. Weehaw in with the combo. They've killed off Setsu and Lanham. Setsu buys back, desperately wanting to turn this around and punish Liquid for their dive. As Weehaw gets left behind by the rest of the team, Liquid getting everybody else out of there as it seems. Kuro will TP out right underneath the nose of Arfu. Everyone else gets away.
And they get 4 bounty runes for Liquid after that super aggressive dive forward.
There's still a tier 1 and a tier 2 in that top lane, but Liquid don't care, taking the fight right up to the tier 3. Coming out on top. Sure, they lose Weehaw, but it's a buyback forced out from Setsu. His gold is going to get slowed down.
They have to prioritize GH higher. Somehow, they have to kill this IO. Like you said, in the fight, and it's looking like RNG might be able to turn it. The mech gets popped. Everyone gets pretty much full healed from it. Level 12 on GH as well as level 13 on Miracle. They're pretty much just sharing that experience because they're surviving throughout all of these fights. This front line, this nighttime is really causing problems for RNG. They need to kick up the pace during the daytime. This is where they need to make some active moves.
They've just got to throw everything his way.
Yeah, they have to get on GH.
They have to. They've got to try and get the wrap around. We saw them try for it in the mid lane. But every time their sort of focus has been diverted towards the gyro, they're trying to deal with Miracle, but just the amount of heals the Miracle's getting, and now with his items done, Aghanims, Maelstrom was picked up. I believe was that on the courier when it died? He did have the money, I believe.
I didn't think it was. I think Kuroki picked it up. Yeah, Kuroki has it.
Kuro's got the delivery service.
I was like, wait.
Yeah.
The courier's dead, but I saw him buy it, so that would have made sense. Yeah.
There we go. So Kuro's going to be able to drop off the Maelstrom into the hands of Miracle, and there we have it. 21 minutes in. Phase Drum, Aghanim Maelstrom, Gyrocopter. That's a little bit of a terror for RNG.
Absolutely. So many distractions in the fight. Mind Control is doing an excellent job on this Night Stalker, who is the first Night Stalker of the tournament, right? I'm pretty sure that's what they were saying as well. So they're making it work. These long duration silence are really punishing RNG at the moment. RNG only, like we said though, only that 1k gold behind, and they're pretty much having the Radiant stun on Monet as well. So he's got a good timing for himself too, but Setsu is starting. Setsu's not being fallen behind too much because he's tied with the Tiny, but he'd want himself to have more fun. He's got those 4 deaths. He keeps getting just comboed and chased down.
Oh, it is hard against this Night Stalker. You're running, what, 4 melee heroes? And even the ranged hero, Lanham, he's ideally trying to get in kind of close to maximize damage with the Starstorm. They're very vulnerable to this Crippling Fear.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, the 4 melee is definitely a concern when you're playing versus ET and Night Stalker, right? And also even Call Down. Even though they have the high mobility, if they don't have the Stampede up, they can get caught quite easily by all these spells. This is Liquid. They're looking to fight again. They've got Dark Ascension available for Mind Control. So whenever they have that or Nighttime, they're definitely going to look to just bring the punch back to RNG.
We've got the Maelstrom done on Setsu, so a little bit of a damage spike up for the team. If he's able to sort of keep himself alive, we saw earlier the potential for those sort of cute plays, staying outside of the fear. If he can get him with the Slight and Chains onto Mind Control, just offers some sort of control that disables the Night Stalker during that Crippling Fear, and will open the chance for RNG to strike back. in that very small window, as you mentioned, just what the 7 seconds during nighttime where there isn't the silence to worry about.
7 seconds. It just sounds so little.
It's not a lot of time.
Crazy.
You've got that 7-second window that you have to at least get a kill, as we said. You know, definitely the priorities being that IO. Obviously, it would be nice if they can get the Night Stalker before he's able to get off another crippling fear, but it's getting harder and harder to do so each of these times they go in. Another big item is now finished for RNG. Monet's Radiance is done.
Radiance is done, but at the same time, too, Mind Control picks up a full pipe.
It's a full pipe.
So Medallion, Pipe, he's even carrying the 3 Dusts. I love this. He's the Night Stalker. I think 3 positions, we've seen more and more core players buying their own reveal, but as a Night Stalker, you're in the front line, you're diving toward the back always. You're playing versus Moonlight Shadow. You need to have that Dust for your team. So that's like the Radiance, very strong, of course, because of the miss rate and all the damage that's going to be coming up, but counteracted a bit by that Pipe. Flyby does have a blink now, though, for RNG, so as we were saying, they had the Stampede and they had the Ember Spirit in order, and even the Mirana to get on top of that IO.
Gonna try and fight. Look at a miracle. GH is going to be around to be able to save it. TP's come in for the Shrine. They're committing a lot onto this Jara, but there's the easy tear. The GH just comes across. They'll just start to turn things around. They've got the chase on towards Monet. Stampede will be used to get them out of there, but Flyby's left behind. The Centaur will fall. And Arfu, he doesn't look to be in much of a better situation. They're running him down. Liquid, again, just punishing any attempt from RNG to look for a fight. RNG going for a very awkward play there, moving over to Liquid's triangle and trying to initiate on this Gyrocopter, who had all the backup in the world.
They're trying to make stuff happen during the daytime, but Dark Ascension gets popped, and then it's pretty much nighttime. I mean, it is nighttime when he does do that, and they can just look to take those fights pretty easily, especially when they have a high ground advantage. It's looking really hard for RNG right now. It's just the Lifestealer who's really been able to do much inside of these fights. And he just has to disengage. Miracle is getting to a fast critical mass period. Already, I mean, he's already got the Eagle Song, he's got the Butterfly queued up. They do not have good ways to deal with that at all on the side of RNG's, if he's able to get that, which he will soon.
The items are just coming out so fast. And sure, you look at the net worth, Money is close behind. But just what this Gyro is able to do with the backup of GH's IO in comparison to what the Lifestealer is able to do with a similar amount of gold, it's just totally different. It's not even close.
Weehan, a bit far up here. Reload kick's coming out though. Liquid, they want to fight this.
Tanky is going to have the pipe buff off it up, and Weehan stepping away. Monet won't be able to finish him off even with the rage committed, and now the turnaround. Miracle goes with the 3-man call out, throwing the ball, crippling fear out onto Monet. Monet stopped up by Kuro. The Lifestealer's dead, and all coming into play is going to easily set up for another as they'll jump forward towards Arfu. Liquid just cleaning up RNG every single fight. As RNG, they just cannot get the kills now at this point in the game. They're really struggling to bring the fights to Liquid.
They cannot take the fights versus them at all. There's just way too much coming out from the side of Liquid, just too much tankability on their front line. And then the damage that you see coming out, that ET Spirit just being put on top of all the Gyro's damage is just ripping it RNG to shreds. As you see a little bit of a different talent being picked up by GH. He actually takes the health regen this game instead of the Spirit Hero damage.
Oh, you know.
Just wanted to get that extra heal under Miracle. He's not wanting to be the damage
I was going to say, this
he believes.
This
he
ain't
believes
no carry IO. You know, this is GH. He's settling into the support role this game. He doesn't want to try and take the game over.
Yeah. Any little type of extra health. Even though that one is quite low. It's only 8. But since you're tethered up, it makes it that much better.
It's double the benefit.
Yeah, Liquid. Even though it's only that 2K advantage, the fights just seem so impossible for RNG.
They just can't deal with this Jara-IO combination. Liquid keeping themselves very safe in any sort of play that they make.
How close are we to BKBs? Because that's, I think they just absolutely need it on, and it feels like on everybody. I don't want to say that Monet needs it because he's a lifestealer, he has rage, but he might need it as well. Just this crippling fear is just so problematic. Miracle though, the arrow caught. I'm gonna toss it back and save it though. He has Aegis anyway, as well as that Butterfly, so still super confident walking back up on the high ground.
This tier 3 tower just taking so much damage here at 27 minutes. RNG, they are going to step out. Sentries in place. They'll see Monet. Monet knows. No point in trying to poke in on the gyro. Again, as we stress, just that importance for RNG of being able to find the backlines of Liquid.
Relocate back to base just to heal up and pick up his item, it looks like. Yeah, he picks up his Glimmer, gets full bottle, gets all that mana back. And they want to keep themselves parked outside here. They have that Aegis. If they stay here, that means RNG is just trapped in their base and not getting any extra farm. Liquid really wanted to press the issue here and try to get a Rax advantage.
The BKB now done for Setsu.
He's got to just beeline toward GH. But
Even with the
do they have
pipe
dust?
and with the mech and with the Glimmer Cape,
Yeah, they need
GH is going to feel pretty safe.
Yeah, they're going to need ways to find him in the back.
They're just going to toss mind control in. They're ready to drive straight into the base. There's the commitment with the BKB. Setsu, he's trying to get on top of GH, but he cannot. The physical damage out from Miracle, it's too high. Setsu has to back out immediately as Miracle just cleans them up.
They will get mind control, though. But Miracle still holding his ground.
They're feeling strong. We are going to get the jump in onto another. Lannon's found out. They're looking for the backlines. Can they kill him? GH is getting lit up. Finally get the IO. Now they've got to look to try and clean up more. Miracle turns towards Setsu and buyback comes out from Flyby. Skura goes for the TP out. Change will cancel it. RNG pushing back Liquid. See if they can find any of the big kills. Both Weeha and Miracle would be a bit of a dream for RNG to catch, but looks like they'll both have the speed to get themselves out of there. It does cost them a buyback, but they keep those racks held.
They finally get on top of GH.
They do. They throw everything down onto the IO and they do the job.
Weeha just runs in, breaks his flame guard, and he's like, haha, now you can't farm as efficient. And then he goes in this and walks away. And they force that buyback on Flyby, just keeping that aggressive stance. We now see finally, I think the Dota Plus has finally ticked into Liquid's favor after all that, as they're able to keep RNG kind of locked in their base for a bit. It was a 61%, as we saw there, for Liquid.
Shadow, take us.
Miracle just continuing to lead that net worth chart. Next item going to be picked up pretty soon as well. They weren't killing him before. He's almost got a Satanic. He's got his own ways to provide his own sustain now.
Yeah, the game's sort of getting to the point for this Gyro where he's not going to be quite as sad as he was before if GH does get taken down by his side. He can certainly keep the fight going without his ball of light.
Do have daytime for about 4 minutes. There's Dark Ascension, of course, up in about 20 seconds. RNG not seeming to be able to find ways to catch them off guard here. As Liquid all still grouped together, just wanting to take the fights to RNG since they're just feeling very comfortable with this lead.
I mean, if they find that, that gyro kill, it's got to be worth so much right now.
They see the courier walking outside the base because they do have a base ward. This is really important. Base wards, these can be just straight up game winning because you get the jump into the backs, or you see when they're initiating, you can pop your immunities or pop your silences, the crippling fear in particular from mind control. That's definitely going to be pretty important to look at.
Another tower taken by Liquid. RNG opting to look for the fights on the high ground rather than trying to poke around these tier 2 defenses.
He's going to clean up the shrine. Aegis is going to be reclaimed in about 10 seconds. RNG trying to take advantage of that timing.
They do get the arrow connection onto Miracle. With that Aegis and Satanic, he really isn't the target they want to try and find. Monet pops the wounds. He's trying to poke on a Miracle, but with the evasion as well, Miracle just isn't taking much damage at all. They'll surround him. Lannon's got to pounce out. The Crippling Fear, it's on top of Monet. He's dead for 70 seconds, and with the missile chase down onto Flyby, Liquid's going to look for more. Miracle has the damage. Double kill for Miracle as there's 3 dead on RNG.
Setsu, he has no remnants. He's got one up in about 2 seconds.
And this silence,
fear again.
It's so destroying for the heroes of RNG. Setsu has got buyback, but both Flyby and Monet cannot return to the game.
Forcing so many buybacks. Miracle is still holding his ground here. They don't have creeps though, so these Rexes, they are healing. Creeps will start coming in. RNG trying to set up for something here.
Can they do anything with just the 3 of them?
Lanem wants the back. He wants Kuroki.
He's got the connection. Jumps in with the burst. It's one of the backliners down. RNG. And they chase for more. Liquid. They are retreating. Lanem's hunting. And Liquid a little too speedy to be able to get themselves away. So again, a little bit of a kickback from RNG, but Liquid just getting that lead bigger and bigger. 6K advantage. The map control, the game control still seriously in Liquid's favor.
That was them like timing it, right? Like they had the countdown. They know, you know that they have that timer of that Aegis. They're like, all right, 10 seconds. You saw Monet was trying to ignore Miracle, but the damage from this gyrocopter really starts to add up too much. And yeah, this Night Stalker last pick is seeming to just be like absolutely amazing. Just taking out everything.
I mean, to the point where
devastating.
You're sort of asking why have we not seen this hero more? Mind control's making it look pretty busted.
We have seen it played, like, not at this tournament, of course, but we have seen it I don't know if it was played at Epicenter at all. It wasn't played at Epicenter really, I don't think, but I know NIP were the ones that were drafting it a bit of the times, right? When we saw them at like the MDL major, they did pick it a couple times, and I mean, they had some success with it. And this game, it does seem to be just perfect to just shut down that mobility that the draft panel was talking about that could be some problems. But all just, they're kind of just like sticking together and keeping these fights going. If you look at their scores, it's 12-0-9 for Miracle, 2-3-19 on GH, 1-8-17 on Kuroki. They're all just, yeah, everyone's just playing and fighting as a big unit together.
I think we're just
RNG,
getting...
they're not able to get the fights.
No, RNG's just getting a bit of a reminder that if you let Liquid get the Gyro-IO combination, you're not going to have an easy game.
Monet, gotta be careful. This is a incredibly farmed gyrocopter.
I mean, there's 5 heroes up, but they just cannot stop Miracle from taking these buildings.
They were trying to set up for a toss-back play onto the Crippling Fear. Mind Control had set it up for Weehaw when he jumped.
I mean, the racks are just falling.
It's just dropping.
They've got 5 heroes up. What are they going to do? They're now going to try and look for the jump, the commitment on the GH. They're focusing the IO, they'll get it. The IO's gone. Instant buyback for GH as they look to rejoin the team. Weehaw jumped past the racks and look at the start of the fight behind it all. They'll pop the flag, hit the racks. They could still get the racks as this is sort of a point of the game where sure they can kill off GH. But at this point in the game, the rest of Liquid are more than happy to fight without that IO.
Silence! He has that BKB! He's just dead! He's dead for 110 seconds!
Drastic plays, frustration from RNG there for sure. They felt that they had to go for something big. You can kind of understand why he would try for that, but he has no buyback. And sort of going for a play like that in itself is sort of the same as typing GG in the all chat. As this game is looking pretty rough and impossible for RNG to recover from. As their best bet, it's going to have to be looking toward game 2. This game 1, Liquid with a superior draft that's just proven impossible to break down in any of the fights. There it is, GG is called. Liquid, they'll take game 1. Gyro and IO, Miracle's Gyro, 12-0-11. And GH with the 2-4-20. It was a clean game from Liquid. And I don't think they're going to be getting that partnership again in game 2. And you just got a treasure.
And I just got a treasure. Nice, thank you.
Did I get a treasure? I didn't get a treasure. Damn it. But Liquid, Gyro, IO, we're not going to see them have it again, are we?
Especially not with an Elder Titan. I look at the damage numbers, you know, Kuroki, 8,000, GH, 8,000, Mind Control, 8,000, Weehaw, 26, Miracle, 50,000, because he's just amplified so much from that.
He just had so much farm, so much space. They started on the bottom lane, sure, we saw at the very beginning. RNG, they were able to kill him off the once or the twice, at least GH. Miracle, of course, not dying at all. But for the rest of the game, Miracle was just an item ahead of everyone in the matchup. And as you say, just the support play and the auras, the control around them, mind control, being able to get in as this Night Stalker with this AoE silence, it just destroyed RNG's heroes. They could not fight back.
It absolutely did. And the mech and the pipe, too much sustain. RNG just could not deal with it at all. This beastly Gyro and this last pick Night Stalker, which looked phenomenal.
Oh, definitely expecting to see some serious revisions in the draft of Game 2 from RNG as Liquid come into this best of 3 with a very confident Game 1 victory.
Half the job done, still the other half to complete for Team Liquid, and of course a chance for RNG to reset during the break and come back stronger for game number 2. We're back with the panel once more as we break down game number 1. Gents, we haven't seen any Night Stalker at all.
No. I was wondering where Night Stalker has been, and he is the Lord of Lightspire in this game. I mean, he just cuts into backlines, AoE silence. You can't really do anything. They have no defensive item. The only way you itemize against this is a BKB. There's no other way around. Yule Scepter's not going to save you maybe by a little bit of time. The Lotus Orb does not work against it. So overall, great Night Stalker pick.
Yeah, and he had a Tiny, right? The Tiny was tossing him in, so it was like instant silence on top of your team. You're like, what are we going to do against this?
Yeah, I think, because I said to Trent downstairs, he was watching in the green room, and I said to him, why the Night Stalker? Why now all of a sudden out of the blue? Like, we haven't seen it picked at all in it. And he said, well, look at the other team. You know, they've got 4, maybe even 5 heroes on the other side, which the silencer just stops them running away. They can't get out. They've all got escapes, but they can't use it anymore because he's got the AoE silence. So it was almost a perfect pick.
All they had against it was like the Stampede. So if Centaur wasn't calling, you could Stampede away, but then you're just using this Stampede defensively time and time again, and that's kind of what we ended up seeing. The Lifestealer especially would get caught in a bad spot, Rage would wear off, he's silenced, doesn't have an escape, and had to be Stampede away, and they just couldn't take fights because of that.
Usually you want to use Stampede on big ulti cooldowns, such as Doom, to reset the fight, and in this scenario, it's a really long, it's a really small cooldown.
We only have 5 heroes. We haven't played yet, and they've all been picked or banned so far, but just 5 haven't been played. It's incredible. These are the stats from the last game. Just compare Monet and Miracle. 2 fantastic players, world-class players, but both having very different games in game 1. I think you almost need to put GH on the bottom of Miracle's page there as well, because he had quite a lot to do with that.
Looming in the background. He was 6 slotted at 33 minutes and 6 slotted at 33 minutes. That's insane.
I've not been impressed by Gyro as a carry this tournament. It was picked a lot in the early days and got picked less and less because its win rate started to dip a lot. A lot of these Gyros were going like this: phase, drums, BKB build, falling off. That is how you play Gyro. That is how you make Gyro work. You play greedy, you get a lot of farm. You also get involved in a lot of action, and that was the perfect way to fit the Gyro into their lineup.
Not coming back for game 2, is it, Grant? One of those 2 gets banned, right? Probably the IO, I would imagine, gets banned out.
I assume the IO, because like God's talked about, we've seen a ton of these Gyros either carry or middle that do that build, and they just don't feel as strong. Like, he could just stand there forever because he had the Elder Titan behind him, always stomping when they wanted to go in. It was just a perfect draft from Liquid.
And Lacoste, I don't want to say Liquid don't have any other strats, but they've gone to that one in particular quite a few times at this tournament.
Oh yeah, when they were in the losers bracket, round 1, they also decided to go for IO and Gyro. And the Elder Titan and the Gyro, they seem so strong. He's dishing out so much magical damage in such a short period of time. But it's Team Liquid. They have other stuff prepared.
Gods, I want to talk to you about the start of the game, because we saw some interesting stuff in the jungle.
Yeah, it was a bit different.
Wait, what's going on here? Do you want to explain it?
I mean, there's very specific lane matchups that both teams wanted. So the way you get your lane matchups is you wait to see your opposing team's lanes before you rotate. And that's why the cores are playing in the jungle, waiting to see where the enemy cores are going to go. But then the end result is both teams are doing this. So you have Kuro, 5 position, free lane to himself, gets a fast level 3. The supports are loving it. They get to farm. The carries, Centaur and Lifestealer jungling together. Eventually, it's a game of chicken. It's one of the teams has to kind of go to the lane eventually.
And Kuro was probably talking to them on TeamSpeak, guys, stay in the jungle. I'm about to hit level 5. I keep swapping.
He used to be a core player, he's like, oh, this, I remember what this is like. I get to hit creeps, get some gold levels. Ah, sweet.
And it felt like RNG actually got the lanes they wanted, because I thought the biggest one was the Night Stalker versus the Lifestealer, and Lifestealer just dominated him in the lane, but, I mean, the laning phase lasted, 3 minutes, starting at 5 minutes in? It just didn't matter.
I mean, Night Stalker's laning phase is garbage.
He'll never have a good lane.
He does nothing. Void does half the damage
20
in the
damage,
daytime. You can't even last hit a creep with it. And his timings are 15 to 20 minute mark with his ulti using it twice, and this is where they actually just built all the advantage, got the Aegis, and just snowballed from there.
But I don't think RNG were outdrafted at all.
No.
RNG's draft was fine. I think Setsu especially made some really bad misplays. There was one play in the mid game where he dove in, went for some kills with aggressive fire remnants. He died diving into 4 heroes, and that really set them back.
Okay, we're going to get more from all of our panel very shortly, but first of all, let's go and check in with Casey and Slacks. Actually, we'll check in with them kind of, before, because, they've had some tours around Shanghai, right? Maybe?
Hello?
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hey!
Hello?
What's going on, panel?
Yeah, I was saying
you're not supposed to see us like this.
You
can see me anytime, baby boy. We went out to the field to go have an adventure, Paul. And what are we wearing? You'll see right now.
Oh, you can make your own shirt.
You can make your own shirt here? Okay. Okay, girls, get together. I'm going to take a picture of you, and you're going to be my T-shirt. Can you put on it, can you put best friends? And can you say friends for life?
Okay.
And never leave me?
Oh,
All in
that will be like...
That's good.
Too much.
Okay. I try to get a discount if we get 2, but she said the price is fixed.
Let me try.
Oh,
Let me try.
yeah,
Let me
go ahead.
You know, step
here. Yeah.
step aside.
Yeah.
太贵了，便宜点儿。
No.
Well, my negotiating skills have failed me.
She just needs 25 seconds.
Count down from 25. Hey! Hooray! Beautiful. Very nice.
All right, so these are our beautiful, beautiful shirts that we made with our new best friends, Dove and Eve, who were so nice to show us around. And what is it that it says, best friends?
I think so. I think so. You know what? I bet what would get this crowd really hyped up is if they got the shirt. Who wants the shirt? Anybody out there? Yeah! Yeah! All right, great. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy my shirt. Put it on. Take your shirt off. Put it on. It went down there. Great. Well, I got a good arm. That's why I play video games. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Jake, man, crying out loud. What are you doing? Stop throwing stuff at the crowd. You'll get into trouble.
He's throwing shirts. He's throwing me.
I know, right? Yeah,
What is
exactly.
happening?
Are you okay, by the way, Casey? Are you feeling better?
You know, it was a rough...
Did he rescue you?
Yeah, you know, we're gonna figure this out. I'm gonna sue him later.
I would.
Would you really?
Okay. Yeah, and take half of his wages, by the way, because he was quite prepared to take yours.
It's at a unreachable spot. I threw it under the stage, so no one's getting the shirt. Sorry.
You too.
Good man.
Unbelievable.
Good
All
man.
right.
Oh, I'm not high-fiving you. I was gonna shove you over.
They're in their own little world down there, having fun, as we are on the panel. We hope you are as well, wherever you're tuned in from around the world. Welcome to day number 4, if you're just tuning in to the International 2019. We're in series number 1, Team Liquid. As maybe you might tune in and go, I expected them to win that. This is not as clear-cut, ladies and gentlemen. And 3 men on our panel are going to tell you why. RNG could definitely come back into this, Grant. This isn't a done deal right now. They're a good team.
No, they definitely are, and you could see from their draft, right? I talked about Fly by ABBA. They first pick it. I'm like, oh, he's going to get it. They move it over to Afu, who had some amazing denies early game. Like, he could have given up 3 or 4 kills, kept an eye himself. Individually skilled, they're there. I mean, Setsu, he solo killed Weehaw middle even, but once the team fights come together, you need some team fight heroes, and they really didn't have that many.
Yeah, network-wise, they were not far behind until the 15-minute mark. This is when everything fell apart from them. The Night Stalker kicked in. He got the Aghanim Scepter on the Gyro. A lot of the damage is dished out. It's really hard to take a fight. And the Night Stalker pick, you guys are talking that they're not outdrafted. I'd say the Night Stalker was the outdraft. Just the one pick. It all it takes.
And it's because it hasn't been picked. You know, we haven't seen it much at all. In
no one expects it. Yeah,
exactly. Right.
Sure.
So in your theory crafting before you came here, because if we should explain to those that are relatively new, gods, these players and teams will theory craft stuff before they come into the day. They'll have looked at all the replays. They'll have looked at all the things that they've picked and what they've done, what they like, what they might not like, what they've banned. And they'll come up with an idea, but they would never have game planned for that, would they?
No, whereas Liquid would have game planned for the Abaddon.
Exactly.
So they see this hero coming, they're like, okay, this is a team that loves Abaddon. They're likely to first to pick it. What heroes are good against it? Well, you have this AoE silence that you can't purge off with the Aphotic Shield. And that in itself is amazing. So they probably theory crafted they could fit this hero into their draft from the start of the day, whereas, yeah, no way RNG expected.
Easy to get carried away, Lacoste, with Liquid winning that first game and just being sort of blasé about the fact that they're back and they're in good form. But we still need to see something from them, don't we?
Yeah, I'm not convinced yet.
Yeah, I got that feeling.
Yeah, Liquid had a little bit of a rough start at the group stage, where they're gonna end up in the upper bracket, lower bracket. Actually ended up in the lower one, and they still have to prove something here. I think they want to go at least to the grand finals. Maybe of course you want to win it, but I think this is not the result that they will be satisfied with.
Just before we get the teams out as well, we've still got quite a few players left in and teams that could win this a second time. Do you think we end the streak this year?
I mean, it's LGD and Vici are both looking really strong.
Yeah, and we should explain that if either of those win, we get a brand new winner and a brand new team and 5 brand new players.
So I'm gonna go with no. I think we're gonna have a winner from China.
All right, I'm calling it right here, right now. We're gonna get the same TI winner this year.
OG?
Well, I'm not gonna say who it is, but I have this feeling. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it.
That's kind of a cop-out, Lacoste, actually. Yeah, there's plenty of players and teams left in. You could be any of them.
All right, at more than 2 players.
More than 2 players?
Yeah, who already won
Which would include
so not secret then.
Yeah, I was going to say not secret, but would include EG.
Yes.
Okay, so you think EG is still in with
Isn't
a chance
EG
of
only 2? Or they got
2.
Yeah, they got S4 and
Sumail and
Sumail.
S4.
We have EG expert here.
Yes.
Yeah, Sumail S4, you're good.
All right, okay, so no EG, no secret.
All right. He's only got what? Liquid
so
OG.
only OG,
Liquid
Liquid
OG.
then.
Yeah, he's saying Liquid OG.
So but you just said you're not a believer. Lukosh
Not
is
yet,
contradicting this. You can't do that on this panel.
He's willing to become a believer, Paul.
They're going to prove me wrong.
Yeah.
They're going to prove me wrong
because they're going to
make me believe after this game. If they win 2-0, I'm a huge believer.
Okay, all right. Well, we're going to get the teams back out here into the arena and welcome them back for game number 2. They're going to get inside the Mercedes-Benz Arena here in Shanghai. Getting ready for another matchup. RNG coming out right now. And once again, we just have so much crowd in here. I know sometimes people on the internet have said to me, like, it doesn't look that full. It's because they're out having a wee or getting food or something. These people have to go outside of the arena occasionally. But when the game starts, my goodness, they're back in here making a lot of noise. RNG get themselves settled in their booth. A lot of work to do as they head to game number 2. Liquid, of course, having that first game victory. Kuro.
I have my notes.
Okay.
Do the notes ever scare you when the notes come out? Is it like, what the heck have they?
You're the only one who has notes. So
What?
Yeah,
Is that good or bad?
I think it's cool. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Oh, everybody I talk to says you're one of the most relaxed players that they've ever seen. Would you agree with that, or do you feel like you just hide it really well when you get stressed?
I do think I'm calm overall.
Yeah.
But I think it's hard to see. It's hard to see if I'm stressed or phased or anything.
What about when it comes to the stress of TI? Is there a specific kind of stress when you go there versus all the other tournaments, or do you treat it all the same? Sorry, I heard you.
It's definitely different. Like in the beginning, we're always nervous. Like it's impossible to remove all of it. It's even healthy to some extent.
How come? Why is it healthy?
I think the nerves, you can use it for something good. It's like using the energies for something good.
How do you do that? Because sometimes when I'm nervous, I can't get over it. And then in other times, I'm able to just use it.
I mean, are you nervous right now?
Yeah, do I sound nervous?
I think you relax.
I don't. I of course have to ask about how roster changes come up. How do you know when you need to make a change in the style of play versus the roster itself?
I'll just try to keep it simple. At the end of the day, we as a team did what we think is right for our future. But the hardest part is always to differentiate the business and the friendship aspect, because it's just all mixed into one entity.
So how do you do that?
It's, to be honest, I'm still dealing with it. It actually stresses me a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I haven't found a solution or anything. I think I'm even the most stressed by far in my team regarding that. I'm worried and I don't know. I'm still dealing with it, to just put it this way. But there's more to it. There's
You're breaking up, Kuro.
there's more to it because it's in my case it's my friend.
Yeah.
So it's more like emotional problems more than anything.
Why Weeha?
Weeha was just a mid
Sorry,
player.
did I hit you?
It's okay. It's relaxing.
Sorry.
And with Weeha, I just had a good feeling. He's a pure mid player, which I kind of seeked for in my team. And I think he's very skilled and experienced. When you change players, you take a big risk, and it could backfire or not, but you just go with it.
Are you excited for the tournament to be in Shanghai this year?
Yeah, very much.
How come?
It's TI, so it's the best tournament. And it's kind of cool that it started to be at different places too.
Yeah.
And yeah, just looking forward to it.
Kuro, thank you so much for being a good sport.
Yeah, my pleasure.
See,
I
that
think
wasn't
so.
so bad, right?
I'm not
geez,
sure.
They're really going for it over there.
I was told they'll go light on me, but
Good stuff. Kuro, wow. Doing massages and de-stressing. He's not under stress right now, though, because his team are leading by a game to 0 as we head to game 2.
Royal Never Give Up versus Team Liquid. Game 2.
Massage people might not go light on Kuro. Neither is RNG. It's game 2. Gentlemen, we saw the success of an unplayed hero at all of TI. Team Liquid whip it out, and it just completely destroys RNG. That Night Stalker was the perfect answer.
I think it's the best hero of the tournament so far.
100% win rate.
Don't my words.
Okay.
Don't take my words.
I wouldn't dare.
But yeah, it was a good pick that game. I think it was kind of important that Gods mentioned on the panel as well that RNG kind of dropped the ball too, though. Like Liquid deserve a lot of credit for the pick and a lot of credit for their plays, but that was not RNG's best game either. And you've got to step it up going into the second game if you want to beat Liquid. One approach is to get more team fights so that it's easier to execute against what Liquid did. The other one is to, like they did here, for example, ban out the IO and play a different style of game entirely. And they will get a first pick Enchantress as their reward.
Which is something that they haven't played a lot, but it's such a strong meta hero right now, so they can't give it up.
Hey, what are your thoughts on Enchantress so far? You think she's overrated, Febby? You think she's adequately rated how popular she's been at this tournament?
I think she's such a strong hero. She's like #1 pick. She can be played as offlane or position 5. She just lacks team fight and catch, but like other positions can provide that. So I think it's just really strong right now.
Enchantress does a lot of things in one hero that you can't really find anywhere else right now, I would say. She is one of the few offlaners that does very well in 1v2s.
Okay.
She can self-sustain.
Right.
She can bait because she's so hard to kill in fights early on. She has massive single target damage, and she can tank Roche. Like, having all of these aspects in one hero makes it kind of makes it so that when you first pick this hero, Enchantress has counters. It's not like the hero is invincible, but you're forcing the enemy's hand, which gives you like the upper hand in the draft. You're one step ahead. You see Liquid, they feel forced to pick magic damage, they feel forced to pick AA just because of this hero. And now you can start game planning around this. Okay, they're going heavy magic, AoE damage. How are we going to approach this with our other cores?
She is also like the best hero at just chasing out the enemy carry, which I think is something that RNG needs against Miracle. He's one of the best carries in the world, and he has shown that last game. So,
yep.
Yeah, Sand King seems to be consistently one of the go-to heroes to deal with Enchantress, but like you said, Enchantress can go head-to-head against a carry, and so oftentimes she brings so much focus to her lane that if Liquid want to go for something like an anti-mage, then they're kind of opening up that possibility, saying like, okay, Sand King, you get your farm, we'll send an AA to help you. As soon as the initial laning phase is over, then we'll create space, we'll keep the Enchantress busy, you go farm elsewhere.
I think this AA pick is really cool from Liquid. It's usually ET that made AA kind of get overlooked, but AA has like a really good buff on the teammates too because of the magic resistance debuff.
The Ice Vortex.
Yeah, so I think it's a pretty good combo.
This is an absolute random classic. The Shadow Shaman, expecting him to play it. I think Setsu has played this hero before for RNG as a mid hero, but that's very unlikely to happen here. So more.
You're gonna run mid Shaman in an elimination game at TI?
I mean, sometimes you go for something crazy. You'll be like, wait, why did Liquid just play Night Stalker in an elimination game? You know,
as we saw in those stats, Lanham, indeed, big ol' Serpents, 5-0 win rate so far.
It is especially good against Ember mid, the Rasta mid, so, and it's something that Liquid loves. The Ember mid, of course.
Something that Shaman has a bit as a weakness, I would say, as a hero is there's plenty of 2v2 lanes where your hero is not as good as it can be just because, you know, one of your spells is channeled in lane. And there's very few spells like that. So if you play against any interrupts, silences, stuns, or mobile heroes that you can't reach, Shaman can't really fulfill his potential, but he's playing with Enchantress. So like we said before, this hero can do so much on its own that it frees up Lanham to either move around, try to gank mid. He can play pressure in the lane because Enchantress can take up so much, like just so much harassment. She can frontline for the Shaman in the lane, basically.
Yeah, RNG definitely have like really strong lanes, but one thing that I'm kind of worried about is their team fight. Like last game, they got out team fight. So I thought that was something that they would think about coming to this match, but apparently not. They just want to like, win the lanes.
Well, not yet, at least.
Yeah, not yet, at least.
So RNG going to ban out two fairly, well, one typical mid, one semi-atypical mid, Templar Assassin, and then the Pugna. Obviously, Pugna is a big issue for Shadow Shaman. His Serpent Wards costs a ton of mana. Nether Ward will literally just disintegrate him if he tries to cast it. But are there any mid heroes that are afraid of Pugna that RNG are trying to, you know, maybe protect that matchup? Or is it mainly they just don't want to have any push, or they mainly just want to protect the Shadow Shaman?
It doesn't feel like that good of an OD game. So
yeah, so that would be like the most typical Pugna mid lane counter kind of thing.
Pugna is decent against Lina at some stages of the game. I'm not quite sure, actually. I don't know if this Pugna ban was even necessary. It's got good synergy with Liquid's heroes because of the Ice Vortex, because of the setup stun to make sure you get Drain off. Massive magic amp with Decrepify and all this.
And more magic damage to kill an Enchantress who, as we've seen before, is famously difficult to kill.
But now they got another magic burst. I don't know how much that helped.
Yo, this fluffy tail is going to get touched, let me tell you.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that Pugna ban was to just protect the Enchantress.
Like we're going to ban out Ember Spirit and Faceless Void in their second phase.
I wonder what RNG is going to pick for their team fight, because not a lot of team fights come from position 5 these days, outside of ET.
Yep, it's true. Oh, that ain't it, Chief.
Yeah, another single target, but it's a strong laner. Once again.
This feels like a game where RNG needs to play fast, I think. Unless they can somehow get a wonderful last pick, which they don't even have, actually. They are the first pick team.
Yeah.
They're lacking in a lot of departments. They don't have any AoE currently that's worth talking about. They don't have very good scaling outside of the Enchantress. Well, Shaman actually as a core can, or as a support can actually scale fairly well, so maybe that's a bit unfair to say. But you kind of have this feeling looking at this lineup that when it comes to these mid-late game team fights, these heroes could struggle. They're kind of food for Tiny and Sand King right now. All of their heroes have low health pools, so...
I mean, for what it's worth, though, these three heroes that RNG have so far, amazing laners.
Absolutely strong.
So difficult to deal with. Shadow Shaman has ridiculous base damage, and Bane is very, very difficult to harass.
Yeah, they're gonna win the lane, and they need to keep up the pressure and snowboard them.
Something we've seen at this main event, though, is that we haven't had that many wins come off just flat out snowballing the game and destroying it. Right. A lot of the times, it comes down to who can take a good team fight around the 15 to 25 minute mark. Even if you're 10k gold behind and you get a good fight, because you have a good teamfight lineup, suddenly the game can swing by 5 or 6k, and all of a sudden the balance has been restored in the game. And Liquid's teamfight looks wonderful right now. They will go for the OD, so the Pugna ban makes more sense now. That gives them, it's another strong laner. It gives them some teamfight. It's good AoE damage. It has a save against all of these hard stuns against the AA ulti.
But why were you initially not considering the OD? Whenever the ban came out, you're like, this isn't like great of an OD game, just because you don't know the mid lane matchup yet?
It's not a popular hero, too.
Also true.
You didn't necessarily know your matchup. You didn't have anything clear to save against, like Duel or something like this, or Chronosphere. Yeah, because sure you can save against the Sand King stun, but it's not the same like tier of spell, right? It's a low cooldown spell that you will have again in the fight, and it will not be totally game breaking a lot of the time to save from that. And also, again, what's the synergy with the team, right? What are you playing?
I'm telling you, strong lanes for days.
It's
win the game
clear.
in 10 minutes. No one cares about what happens afterwards.
I mean, this is very clearly RNG's plan is to play on heavy laning and then try. I think their last hero needs to be able to kill Roshan so that they can try to push their early game timing.
Oh,
I think Lycan could be a possible option here. He's very good at running at the backline, so he can get the AA out of the fight. He can kill the Rubik. And he has the tempo that RNG needs. I think if they don't pick something quick here and they try to go slow, the mid-game fights are going to be so hard.
Fabi, I heard your brain wrinkling. What's on the line?
I was thinking Liquid might pick Broodmother or Meepo because there's so much single target and the bans fan out, so...
Okay, that's some more team fight. That's also okay. Like, again, it's tempo, right? It's a carry that can move around and can take early fights, has a lot of damage, is a strong laner, so it fits the bill. But I still have the same concerns. Can you break high ground? Can you take big towers? All you have to take towers with is the Serpent Wards. And in order to plant those, you need to be able to protect them. And I am not sure. I'm very skeptical here, you can hear from just seeing how the main event has gone with this teamfight kind of style. But I would love to have RNG prove me wrong and just run over the lanes and just snowball the game out of control. But I think this one could be a really hard one.
Arc Warden. So not the Meepo, not the Broodmother, but another mid lane classic that Liquid like to go for. It's the Arc Warden. Gentlemen,
probably going in a safe lane though. On Miracle.
Or RNG's
that's
three
true,
cores
yes.
are ranged, so it looks like a really great game for Arc Warden.
Like a pretty solid matchup, though RNG are so heavily reliant on doing well in the laning phase. Because if things go maybe like 25 minutes, Arc Warden's going to get out of control.
Yeah, he's playing against, is that 5 ranged heroes?
I believe so,
With
yes.
Magnetic Field?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
yeah, but Gyrocopter, he's cool to get in there.
It's a really good pick this game.
All right, well, let's take a look at what Liquid's justification is as we send it over to Casey to speak with Roman.
Oh, yes. Roman, the panel would like to know what your justification is for this draft, especially that last pick.
Sorry, once again?
What is your feeling on the draft as far as your picks and the order that you picked them in and that last pick?
I think we ended up having a very comfort draft in this game. And for me, the Arc Warden was just a perfect pick.
What makes it perfect?
I can't really say it.
Good. That's good. I was testing you. Were you studying RNG throughout the tournament up until now, and does that inform your draft selections, or are you just playing your game and sticking with what you know?
It's kind of both. Funnily enough, RNG was one of our most scrim partners in the bootcamp we did here. So, yeah, I think it's a very comfort opponent. And
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Best of luck. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Casey. Yes, game 2 getting ready between Liquid and RNG. And obviously, RMN doesn't want to divulge too many secrets behind the reasons on their picks. But I've got to probably agree with the draft panel, right? The reason why the Arc Warden is so good this game is Magnetic Fields. It's going to seem pretty OP against all these ranged heroes.
Yep, it gives them a decent matchup too if they do want to send it in the mid lane versus Setsu, which looks like it's going to be the choice. They're putting Weehaw, even though Weehaw's playing the Tiny, so it's like a mind game, right? Like sometimes you see players, they swap roles, but you'll still see them do this. But this one, they're even going to maybe show Weehaw that he has these Tango and the Salves. So they're going to know, they're going to hide Weehaw so they don't see that he has the Tango and Salves, and they're going to expect that it's a Tiny mid, but Miracle's going to be the one that kind of switches it up, and they're going to now put the Sand King in a matchup versus the Enchantress. So high magic damage, of course, and also you're going to just be fine down bottom as a Sand King, because you're just going to farm versus that Ench. And we look at the draft of Liquid. What I'm seeing is a first pick Enchantress from RNG, and I see magic damage, magic damage, magic damage, magic damage, and magic damage.
All across the board from Liquid in that sense. And that mid lane matchup, right, Arc Warden against the OD can get, pretty messy for the OD, right?
I think you should.
How would you sort of...
You should still be able to get your last stitch just fine as an OD, right?
You don't think once the level
gets, once you get to like 6, once you get to like 5 and 6, you might get like...
Okay. I just feel like the pressure, these raids being laid down, and if he gets split from the creep wave, he's going to be vulnerable.
I think he should be okay. At least until like the laning phase, until later on. But it is a ranged hero, so that means Miracle's going to farm as well. That's the thing, is Miracle's not going to get put under, because he's this high range hero, so you're not going to walk up and Astral a 625 attack range hero. It's just not going to happen really too much in the laning phase. So you'll see him probably use those Astrals on the creep wave. And maybe you'll see actually rotation come out. Maybe we will see a gank come out for those Spark Grid setups with either that Rubik or maybe even a Tiny. Fun combo as well. I've actually tried this one in pubs just for some fun with a couple of like the pros. I think I did it with No Tail. Is the Arc Warden plus the Tiny. Later on in the game, you have traps set up. You have Spark Grid set down, and you toss one hero into it, and they just die pretty much instantly. So should be fun as Setsu actually gets up into Miracle's face and gets that Astral off. So he still does at least have that 30 movement speed to get on top of the Arc Warden to get those Astrals off.
Kuro and Arfu trading blows down the top lane. Both bring themselves down to pretty similar HP. We'll see in these side lanes, which is the lane that you've got to be worried about. Bottom lane, Ench, one of the strong old offlaners, should be pretty fine, but the top lane, RNG, they are looking to chase. The support's collapsing in towards Kuro. Kuro will be able to get away in the trees. They'll turn for the bigger one, surrounding Weehaw. As Weehaw, he gets taken out. RNG with this tri-lane. They've got a lot of aggressive potential.
And you've got your answer right there.
This is where the action's going to be.
Yeah, this tri-lane is really where it's all going to happen. They did use a lot of resources in Afu. He's actually dropping very low. He's going to get the brain sap
With that verifying the brain sap, he's going to be fine. Oh, no. the salvage way. Sound gets cancelled, but it saves his life. And Kuro...
He used a fairy fire as well.
He had to step pretty far forward for this. He will also survive. Monet trying to chase both of these supports with the help of Lanham, but GH and Kuro will keep themselves just out of range. Kuro goes for the quick trip back to base with the neutral creep deny.
Apu says, me too, why not? The Wild Wings now having the most kills in the game. Both suiciding and getting back as... Yeah, this tree throw, the tree grab there by Weehaw. He wants to secure the last hit, but that makes it so that lane right there, they know that he has it, so they're going to get very aggressive up on that
They
top
just
lane.
run him down.
Yeah, and as the panel mentioned, they're going all about the lanes on RNG. So that's why you see Liquid, they try to do these type of dodge lanes and move things around and be a little bit different and just catch them off guard here. As we see mid, fairly even as as we were saying, but now Miracle has an illusion rune, so this is actually pretty strong here as a ranged hero. He should be able to secure pretty much every last hit with this, so that's going to cause problems for Setsu. Good old illusion or DD runes at 2-minute mark. Really changed the tides.
Yeah, I was going to say they're using the Astral there, the only way to really get CS during this time against that illusion.
Yeah, I mean, Miracle's going to get every single last hit pretty much here. I say that and he gets denied right away.
Did he actually? That did get denied. We missed that on the screen, but it looked like.
Shh, no one saw it.
I was gonna say, yeah. Shouldn't happen, but Miracle there for whatever reason getting a little lax with just hitting the creep.
Yep.
Let's top lane. Monet in trouble. Quit. Again, with this up, both sides on this top lane keep getting brought incredibly low.
Gyro's not getting last hits. He's committing forward for kills, but he only has that 5 and 6 right to the 8 and 8 of Weehaw. The Gyrocopter, you really want to make sure you're getting more of those in comparison. Like Tiny, if you don't get all those last hits, you're going to make up for your golden kills later on. I guess Gyro's kind of the same, but you want to get off to a good start to get that early items and HP, so you don't want to get burst down. So illusions will go away there, and Miracle, he got a big advantage from that one. I mean, it was 17 and 8. Setsu was able to get a couple of denies, but Setsu actually getting chased forward. Now the Spark Rates dropping very low.
And this is sort of the danger Setsu's got to be careful of. He's got regen out, so we'll be fine to sustain and stay in the lane. Same as be said for Miracle. Mana starts to fall a little low though for Miracle, so it will be harder for him to go for those aggressive plays.
Flyby is playing this pretty nicely down bottom. It's 17-4, and he's also made sure he's got the Satyr Mind Stealer. He's actually just walking over and trying to burn Mind Control's mana so he can't just keep spamming that Sandstorm. It will go down eventually, but he also was using the big Satyr to keep himself healed up and also put some pressure onto Mind Control too earlier. So he's using that enchant to his advantage, as he doesn't need too many points in Untouchable. The 2 points is more than enough. And Mind Control is actually, this is pretty unexpected. He moves to check the power rune, and he's got an invis.
Oh.
Setsu.
He's kind of low.
He's got to be careful how he uses the Astral or sets up, and now he might be aware of something.
I mean, Miracle just watching. I think Setsu is wondering.
Yeah, he's like, where'd the bottom lane go?
Has to be a bit of time that Mind Control is going to miss out on a wave with that move up towards mid and then back down bottom.
We'll give Miracle also some last hits though, right? He gets a couple more extra denies.
I'll take a rune down bottom. Looks to be the same situation up top. Neither side looking for a brawl yet.
2 for 2. An aggressive glyph coming out, I believe, from Miracle there to make sure that Setsu does not get the range creep last hit. You see a lot of mid players usually end up using that first glyph just to get a little bit of an advantage. And Miracle is starting to get quite a big one here as these levels build up. As we said, once the level 6 comes out, it becomes way more difficult for the OD. You are at risk of dying versus this Arc Warden.
So just really what the Gyro that's a little behind on CS, but very, very close for the most part between these two teams in these first 5 minutes.
So Pano was mentioning how important it is for RNG to come out ahead in the lanes, and they're not really doing so that much right now. And you have to be pretty worried. There's such an immense amount of team fight coming up from Liquid. They're getting aggressive.
Weehaw just dives in, looks towards that, and they will turn with the lockdown missile and the Hex out onto Weehaw. He's got a stick charge. Nightmare holds him down though. Weehaw trapped underneath the tower. RNG will punish Liquid for trying to get in. A very aggressive play, moving past the tier 1 and trying to get on top of the supports. Won't pay off for Liquid.
Lanham steps up a bit far here.
As the stick charge, to try and get himself out of vision, will be able to turn back, get the Hex off, cost him his life. But it may have just set up for more glory for Monet as he chases down Kuro with the missile. Kuro's trying for a neutral creep deny. It's not going to happen. Monet gets another, and Setsu in position, ready to set up. GH is trapped in the Astral. Monet gets on top of him. The mana's back up for another rocket barrage. And RNG break down that top lane of Liquid.
Punching back, an over-aggressive move by Weehaw gets punished heavily. He tries to commit forward for that. and ends up getting a couple of his teammates killed. Even though they get a trade kill, definitely a big RNG favorite move there. That's mind control. We'll need another impetus, as we saw the Sentry Ward was placed by Flyby earlier, so he will be able to always push mind control out of the lane there a bit. But he's still farming on the Sanking. But we do see that mid advantage. As soon as 6 comes out, Setsu is starting to get pushed away here, and every time he does step up, he is at risk.
Very hard for him to sort of stand by the wave with that equilibrium active and really build his mana back up. Anytime he uses the Astral, Miracle knows he's vulnerable, so he has to step back.
I mean, he just keeps getting hit by these Spark Wraiths, and it's the new set from Miracle. That new Arc Warden set, these little dragons, it is a bit harder to spot. We were looking at it. It's the outline of it does make it a little bit harder to see.
Nah, you just got to get good.
He's got to get good. Yeah. But yeah, Setsu's eaten quite a few of those Spark Wraiths. He's actually been pushed to the jungle now. Not where you want to be as an OD. I think he's having to take... He's actually had to use both of his team's shrines now at the 7-minute mark. He took the top one for himself, and he's also taken the bottom one now too. Giving a free farm lane to Miracle.
Liquid. There's some nice stacks done as well, maximizing the efficiency of being up on this top lane. See what they can do. So they do start to push the wave in. Monet has to be careful. Any potential pressure could lead to another dive attempt. Even though last time, of course, did go well for RNG. Bringing Setsu around, making sure they had the numbers to kill off the supports. After an over-aggressive play.
Bottom, land him. He's stalking mind control, but mind control puts a sentry down. Will get dusted. And he's actually just trying to kill Landham inside the sandstorm. But
able to keep the distance, turn with the shackles.
The neutral! Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
What?
It actually swung as he shot. Oh my god, that's so unlucky for RNG.
Against Impetus and the shock, and the neutral creep gets it. Oh, poor old RNG. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Looks like neutrals are working in favor of Liquid.
Does seem like it right there.
That would have been a juicy kill, you know. Mind control was...
He's high level. He's level 7.
Chilling down
That would have been so much XP for both of them. For Landham, he kind of needed that one.
And he gets denied.
Gets denied, and now top. That one's not going to get denied. As Weehaw starting to build up those levels, 3 points in that avalanche. Now they're starting to have the damage to burst these heroes down quite easily. Even Arcane Boots now finished on GH, so they're going to look to keep this going here. Monet has to be careful. He's going to back up, and he's actually just going to leave.
Yeah, straight out. Looks to make a move down to bottom. Maybe see if he can make an aggressive play. They're bringing in a 4th hero. 4 members of RNG looking to go straight towards that bottom lane. They didn't get mind control last time. They want to make sure that this time they do get the kill.
He's got the max sandstorm, so it is going to be dealing a lot of damage if they do dive under here, if Liquid wants to contest this, and he's already prepping his escape route. He's cutting the trees.
With Monet diving in like that, mind control he's going to be straight out of there.
It's a full HP tower, though. They're actually just going to send the Arc Warden clone.
It's just a lot of resources. They have to find something out of this RNG, otherwise it's a fair bit of time wasted.
I mean, this one illusion, this one Tempest double is going to push them away here. The Spark Wraith hits Landham and chunks
just
him down.
So much space being given. Top lane, middle lane. This is not efficient from RNG.
No, it is not. They're sending Flyby top, but like we mentioned, the draft of Liquid is just all up magic damage. He's going to be able to get that level 2 heal off. He does have the max untouchable, so he will be okay now as they didn't have the second follow-up disable. But they want to go for this tower. 10-minute mark. Creep, team's trying to take advantage of that siege creep.
This will be the tower going down. Flyby with the heal ending. Doesn't want to step back forward.
This is going to be a very early Blink Dagger for Weehaw. And like the panel said, you look at RNG's draft, they have no frontliner. They're 5 ranged heroes. They are all extremely squishy in this game to the burst potential of a Tiny. Throw in an AA that gets an early level 6. They can easily set up for kills with an Ice Blast with a Tiny combo on pretty much anybody in the game on the side of RNG.
The combos are very, very strong. And you sort of look at the lineup too. It's a question of who's building the pipe, who's rushing a BKB. None of these heroes necessarily wanting to do that.
They drafted like I said, it's a 5 range lineup, so you don't have your traditional ways to start fights. You don't have your traditional ways of just team fighting either. As they do kind of stack the disables there with that toss. I believe he actually didn't get the damage done onto him because of that lift there, and Flyby will actually push them all 3 away.
Still, definitely the tricky kill for Liquid, this Enchantress. To the point where they've already taken the tier 1 tower. They're probably better to look to push their efforts elsewhere. Still a mid tier 1 and a bottom tier 1 that's there for the taking. Miracle start to push on mid. Setsu will come back into the lane.
RNG was trying so hard to get some damage on the bottom tower. Remember, they brought the 4 heroes, right? They only got 178 damage on the tower because Mind Control just pushes the wave out. Sandstorm, he's super farm too. He's also going to have a very early Blink Dagger. And they've got stacks in preparation to be able to continue their farm and growth. RNG, they're still farming pretty well, but you have to feel that they double down. They like triple down on just wanting to win these lanes, and they aren't really coming out that far ahead at all.
Yeah, I mean, sure they've got a couple more kills, but net worth's pretty even. They are getting even farm, but certainly not ahead.
They're gonna really need Monet to be that tanky frontliner for the team as well as Flyby. Gotta be getting the drums and just straight into the BKB. They're gonna need those early magic immunities versus this high magic damage. Mind Control.
Mind Control's been found. Everything getting thrown down upon him. Some TPs were thought about. Are they gonna follow up on them? Still going in with this one. Miracle is just the double. So Mind Control does get found. And this time RNG with the numbers should be able to take this tower out. This blast will fly in. Cause a minor issue for RNG there. They're not too phased, and with the wards out in range of the tower, they'll take this one away from Liquid.
It's a nice move by RNG. Just knowing they need to get some type of map control. If they start to lose too many towers and they're not able to keep that pressure going, when they have a Shadow Shaman on their draft, it's gonna be pretty difficult. It's a good move there as Flyby. We see the Hood picked up. He's also got level 10. Probably gonna choose to take the talent maybe at 11. He didn't take it that time, maxing out the heal. So high magic resist will be coming out for the Enchantress. And they're actually pinging down bottom. They look like they want to continue their aggression here and try to control the enemy jungle of Liquid. But Miracle is free farming.
That double Midas efficiency with the Tempest double the time is definitely going to be ticking a little bit for RNG. They must keep this pressure up. Flyby still this very strong core Enchantress that it is difficult for Liquid to kill, even with the magical burst they have because of that Hood.
Yeah,
at this point in time, it's probably not enough to get a quick kill. Flyby's always going to have that chance to pop the heal and get away.
And the other important thing they do have is they have save, right? Setsu, a Force Staff, as well as Astral. So if he's in position, he can look to set up if they do throw out everything onto an Ench's line in.
They're in. Now look for the combo. GH is there with the follow-up. Lanham is found. Arfu trying to see if they can react. Setsu slides in with a 4-staff. He's on top of Kuroki.
Smart grace though.
Kuroki will get taken back towards the mid. Flyby. Knows that he can stand here, clean up the wave. There's no chance of going on him.
Monet tried to get aggressive and just ate a double Spark Wraith. Had to back up immediately. We'll try to go on GH. So still farming pretty good on their 3 cores. For RNG, they still have that going very well for themselves, and they're trying to keep taking these fights to Liquid. They've got the Serpent Wards available again. Looks like they're going to go to try to set up for their Bounty Runes and maybe get this top tower. They're pinging out also maybe into that mid lane area.
Going for this wraparound play. RNG, their eyes towards mid. Liquid themselves stepping away from the area, only leaving Miracle on that mid lane.
They want to punish him. They have full vision of him with that ward they've placed on the high ground. That right side. But diving past that tier 1, it's very, very scary. As Flyby, the blink come out, the AA blast, he gets the Hood off.
Do they have the damage? I don't know if they do. It's going to be close. At least Hex is out, Ray. Okay, with the lift back. There we have it. That'll bring him down under the threshold. It takes pretty much everything. The Liquid showing that very strong hero, the Enchantress, can still be killed by their full lineup. Will he space up top for the pressure to come in from RNG as they'll push down onto the tier 1 tower? GH is in, so is Weehaw.
Liquid's got double Blink Daggers. They want to contest this. RNG, they have to back up. There's no Enchantress available for them here. They're immediately starting to send their core heroes elsewhere.
Oh, he's going to just walk in with a wraparound straight away. No hesitation from Lanham. Drop the Serpent Wards. Ult on ult. We'll see at the same time with the cooldown pop. Setsu, he'll fall. Miracle gets the kill. Monet will be able to strike back, but Mind Control in with the epicenter straight on top of the gyrocopter will secure the trade for Liquid for now because it's still going. The TP's in. Attempt for the Fiend Script. Arfu's trying to pick off Weehaw, but again, Liquid, they've got the numbers. The disables are there. As Arfu shaken up, Enchantress Flyby will get the deny, but it is 4 kills that Liquid are able to make happen in that middle lane.
They get Miracle, they commit both of the cores, just getting on top of him, but we saw that bubble. The bubble from that Tempest double with that magnetic field being able to protect him for just long enough for the backup to get there. And they end up getting multiple kills, and they're not slowing down. These Blink Daggers, they want more.
They're looking for the jump. We are.
Wants to toss back.
They're set up. Do they have the damage? They're going in straight away with that stolen Fiend Script. It is enough. GH. He has the control and has that extra bit of damage required to get the Enchantress. There's Liquid. They're eyeing up another Weehaw. He's in with the combo straight down onto Arfield. Get the chance for the brain sap, and Arfield will live.
Ooh, the raindrops saving him there for sure. One of the best items in the game versus the Tiny. So we see raindrops and bracers usually be the pickup. More space for Miracle to farm. Monet also doing pretty decent on the side of RNG. But these Blink Daggers, this tempo. RNG has to be careful not to get caught off guard by these quick jumps. There's a Veil now picked up for the Sand King. So like we said, all magic damage, lots of magic damage amplification from Vortex. Now they have a Veil as well to look to set up for those.
Where they're going to head to now.
Setsu has a Wind Lance in his inventory over his Dragon Lance. I guess he wants movement speed, but...
I guess he's not fighting. You know, efficiency, movement speed
courier's coming
probably
anyway.
favored.
He's getting the Hurricane Pike delivered anyway, so bam, yeah, doesn't matter.
Radiant's top tower.
Who needs the Dragon Lance? Oh, Setsu. Mind control.
Nice stun.
Trying to start something off on this top lane.
Just the magic damage is building up. Look at Monet how low he's dropping already.
He's in. There's going to be a defensive astral from Setsu, keeping Monet safe. Surfer Ward's down. They trapped up mind control. It's a big ice blast that's going to be flying over to this half of the map. In fact, I believe gets pretty much all three of them. Didn't quite get Monet though, so Monet will be able to walk out. As RNG, they've got the 2 kills. Liquid still trying to fight with the drag back. They'll get Flyby as well as Lanham. A 2 for 2. Monet. If that ice blast connected, it was so close as well.
Yeah,
it didn't. He gets to walk out alive.
It was so close, right? He was right on the cusp of it. Being able to dance himself away, and it's important for him to survive in all of these fights. Monet needs a BKB so he can survive the burst damage. We can get that off before they do all the combos, and he's getting close. I'd imagine Setsu's probably doing the same thing, either a Blink or a BKB, as he does queue up both.
GH, he's got a little bit of time until that Fiend's Grip goes. It's probably not going to be long enough for him to make another play with it.
He's
So will fall.
Just kidding.
But Ether Lens is done. He's got that extra reach now, GH.
Yep.
So you've got to watch out for these steals, especially that Fiend's Grip. Fiend's Grip always going to be a juicy one for him to grab.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a classic counter pick for a long time versus that Bane, just having the Rubik. Rubik has a pretty decent amount of spell set, which don't look like the most obvious, and not these Ravages or anything, but even getting Astral. Astral is a very good spell to steal on a Rubik, as we used to see. I think Liquid used to actually pick the Rubik into the OD quite a lot when they first formed. I think when they first picked up GH, it was just like, we're picking Rubik every time versus that hero. They do really like that matchup. And they're smoking. They've got some big item timings here. And it is, of course, those bounty runes that they're looking to set up for. And keep the fights going. Allow Miracle to keep free farming. But RNG, they're keeping their farm up. They're
They are.
that close.
20 minutes in, it's dead even on the gold.
Setsu's level 17 on the OD as well. He's farming beast. Miracle only level 15 on that Arc Warden. So really keeping himself ahead of the game here.
They can keep Setsu safe in the fights. What sort of safety do they have? They do have the heal from Enchantress. See if Setsu's able to find himself in a situation where he can really rack up the end. Ace Root will be grabbed by Setsu. Bottom lane, Miracle. Get to find another tower. Does RNG stay together? Over on Liquid's top half of the map, away from forming any sort of a defense. Both mid waves and bottom are being pushed in against them. They'll now go for the smoke up move themselves, trying to bait a little bit with Setsu. See if they get any sort of jump out of Weehaw. Liquid starting to move back across the jungle towards that area. If RNG can get the wraparound or reach in, they have the Fiend's Grip. Lanham on the front lines as well, ready to offer the disable required to start a fight off Lanham.
Lanham. will get broken. Mind control, he sees him, he wants him.
There's backup for Lanham. Can they help him out? Arthur's going to try, but the Ice Blast straight down on Lanham will kill him off. The pass over from the Ice Blast does clip on a flyby, so 3 dead straight away. Monet, he's still going to try and fight this. He's moving in with the BKB. Setsu as well. They're looking to come in. There's the ult. Slam down onto Miracle. They'll get the kill, but it's going to cost him his life. Mind control back in with the counterplay. Burrow Strike will catch out Setsu. And Weeha jumping in. Arfu brought back for this. Triple kill for Weeha. As RNG, they really tried to force that. They went for the smoke, lose their supports. Monet and Setsu, they still felt confident, overconfident with that Monet BKB. They went in for that fight, but they didn't have the backup. Liquid had the numbers. And sure, you killed off Miracle, but it cost you a lot.
They had to know that there's no way they get anybody else in that fight. That's a full commit just to kill the Arc Warden, because they've already lost pretty much, they've lost everybody else on their team. It's a 2 versus 4 into it, well, 2 versus 5 actually, with the Tempest double still down as well.
At this point, you know, it's Monet. He's popped the BKB already before those 2 die, so it feels like he's got to make something happen. They know that Setsu is incredibly strong at the moment. They get the kill, but there's no escape. There's no way out for Setsu.
Yeah, and like we said too, like Setsu, when he dies, he's level 18 in those situations. The amount of experience, we saw it go 6,000 experience in favor of Liquid there. So it looks like we're going to see defensive items being picked up now. That magical damage is really proving to be a bit of a problem for Miracle. He's queued up his own BKB on the Arc Warden, and when he gets that one, OD and Gyrocopter, they're completely nullified as they're not really going to be dealing that physical damage at all. So he looks like he's going to be farming that one. We saw him very vocal as well after he does get brought down, probably saying, hey guys, I need either 4 staffs to peel me away from the Gyrocopter or my own type of magic immunity. Maybe even a pipe. I'm not sure if anyone's going to queue that one up, but it doesn't look like it's going to be the case. These team fights, we see how much damage Liquid does have with all that amplification.
RNG still sticking around. Very hard for them to get sort of the quick kills without the sanity. Smoke's going to be used. Immediately Setsu takes it off himself and gets back to hitting the creep wave. So trying to draw the attention away. See if they can catch Liquid off guard. Miracle would be a juicy one. On his own, could be a good chance to kill him without any sort of payback. And they're straight up with the ult. Miracle is dead. Now can they keep everyone alive? Flyby, he still wants to continue to try and fight. Weeha's going to get the chance to jump in and over onto Lanham. A buyback's coming out from Lanham. Get the control, but a quick force will separate Flyby from the aggression of Liquid. As RNG will keep their cause alive. And that one they'll definitely take. Taking down Miracle, only costing them the life of the Shaman.
Very nice smoke move there. They're identifying that they can just keep moving around the map and trying to take the fights and just getting on top of Miracle before he's able to get that magic immunity. They also have a crazy amount of damage coming in from their draft if they do get on those targets. And Lanham was the main focus of all the damage from Liquid there. RNG trying to turn this into a tower.
Can Liquid fight this there? Sort of hovering around on the high ground. Mind control doesn't have epicenter. They're going to go in with the Ice Blast. Combo straight away onto the 2 of them. They'll be able to blow him down low, but there's the Astral save. Setsu keeping Monet fine as RNG. They're thinking about diving past this tier 1 tower. Monet, in fact, just popping the BKB and backing off. Miracle's back in the game, and they're starting to clean up Liquid. They've got the lockdown onto Flyby. He's forced down to the low ground. Still continue to retreat as Spark rates out. Weeha's trying to chase. They'll get themselves out of there. Only the Bane to go down, and Mind Control again. He's the one to fall for that attempt to try and strike back at RNG.
Great positioning by Setsu, able to bail out both of his other cores there with the Hurricane Pike as well as that Astral to ensure that Monet gets the BKB off. But they don't get the tower. That's what they really were coming for, and that's really what they're trying to get that wraparound for, committing everything to try to get more map control, get that early tier 1 mid. Well, early, 25-minute tier 1 mid.
Some good, quick, smart moves for sure, though, from Liquid. That's back to the game. Bottom lane.
Sends the double.
Just a double.
Wave. They're gonna be able to clean it up. So it should be some gold here for Monet.
Who's gonna be the one to grab it?
Monet will get 300.
He's gonna be very happy with that one.
Yep, it's a max level now, so he's level 18, so it does give that 300 gold bounty. Those do add up.
Let's see what the next move's going to be. RNG showing themselves very openly down bottom. Monet leading the creep wave around as they approach towards the tier 2 tower. Same to be said for Liquid. They're moving in as the 3 of them getting pressure onto the tier 2 top.
Yeah, he's almost got the Ags. They're farming at a very good pace here. It's pretty much just the Arc Warden keeping up in the pace versus both that OD and Gyro. Weeha, he's acting more as just like the supportive core Same thing with My Control. They're both just like these lockdown heroes as well as team fight to provide for Miracle to pretty much just be the solo carry. It's kind of like this 4 Protect 1. I mean, it is like this 4 Protect 1 for them. Again.
Kill it off again in time before it disappears. Won't get it this time. Timing will work in Miracle's favor as he doesn't give up the gold.
And they'll transition this into a push though. But Miracle, he is TPing down. He wants to fight. That means he probably has BKB. He does.
Mind Control. Tries for the quick blink, but instant reaction for Setsu to get away. Mind Control still going to be able to get on top of him with the burst trap, but there's a lot of heroes here on RNG. Quick combo from Weeha. Takes out Arfu, and now they're looking for the lockdown. Setsu's in trouble. Telekinesis tracks him out, but still get the chance to pop the BKB. BKB out from Money as well. They're trying to TP out. Setsu with the BKB link will get away. A flyby left behind will be dealt with by Miracle and the Tempest double. Mind Control still looking for the chase to pick up as many kills as they can, as Lanham will be found. 3 dead on RNG as Liquid. They'll fight hard. RNG, the ones were trying to push the tier 2 tower down. They were over Liquid's half of the map. Everyone was back up on Liquid.
They're looking for more. They know it's only 2 alive. Weeha's blinking into the base because he got the successful scan initially.
Mind Control nearly getting the chance to close that gap on Monet. As this will be the tower down in mid.
You can see how aggressive that they're playing. As soon as the RNG BKBs get popped, if they're not able to just instantly kill that Arc Warden, which, I mean, in this case, it's going to be very difficult for them because of that BKB that he does have, they have to pretty much disengage in all those occasions. Still having 2 dead at Liquid. Looks like they were trying to go for Monet here, but unable to get that close positioning. And we see, of course, level 20 now on Arc Warden. So that Spark Wraith cooldown with the cooldown reduction. We were talking about the traps. The potential is going to be there. The Tiny with the toss back into the Spark Wraiths can't always be there, especially when you get level 20. That's a big one, because if you do go for the toss, requires no target. You can freely toss people onto there, even if no one's there. So definitely potential. Don't know if we'll see it, but I'm excited for it.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
There's RNG starting to fall a bit behind in this one here after these last few fights.
Looking at the next 2 items really on the course, the Hex for Setsu and the Maelstrom for Monet. That's what they're going to hope for before anything too crazy is forced on them. They're still feeling the strength when they have that Sanities, though. Anytime they've got the ult, they're happy to smoke up, look to see if they can grab a core alone. Liquid sticking very well together.
Setsu's still very farmed, like we were saying, level 21, so he's got even that Sanity's Eclipse multiplier, so that much damage that is going to be coming out if they can get the instant jump. Lanem, still no Blink Dagger for him to get that Blink Hex.
Here we go, Smokes Dispel. Weeha hiding around the trees, gets in with a Blink jump play straight away. Setsu, BKB's pop. He'll slide into the magnetic field, starting to steal the in of Weeha. Sanity's Eclipse is down there, burst out the Tiny. Miracle with its BKBs, look at the tower. Weeha buys back. He's coming over towards the try and Mind Control. He's on top of Setsu with defensive Astral's used, but of course Setsu, he's already used the BKB. He'll get the Blink off outside of the Astral. Will still be able to escape. And RNG, again, getting away with these smooth moves, getting in, killing off Weeha. Weeha buying back, but RNG, they don't lose anything for it once again. They're able to get out of there, even with, I believe, what the stolen Sanities dropped down by GH. He just didn't have the indifference or damage to get a kill with it.
No, it didn't really do much of anything. And they also, RNG, big thing is, they saved the BKB on Monet. They had to use it for Setsu because he committed forward so hard because of that smoke play, but keeping these BKBs at high duration is going to be really important. Liquid, they're trying to punch back here. They know there's no Sanities. They go straight to the
And they want to make something happen with the buyback from Weeha.
That as well.
He's brought back. They know that they can go for that. And RNG, without the tools available for a minute or so, won't look to try and defend, or sorry, to push them out of the pit. Sages into the hands of Weeha.
Miracle's feeling safe, just because that BKB in particular, he doesn't feel like he can probably die if they don't get an instant Hex on him. So giving the Weeha that one because he doesn't have buyback either. RNG still able to punch back and get some of these kills here when they're setting up. Both opposing cores in the mid lane, Setsu as well as Miracle, they're both going Hex like you were talking about. Looks like Miracle's gonna get his just a little bit faster. And that's the prevention. That's the big one, right? More control to prevent those BKBs to get off from getting off, and also just more catch if they do get a chase type of situation where RNG is going to start resetting, as we've seen them do a lot, right? They run in, they try to get a kill, and then the BKBs are done, and they just try to book it out of there. So this is going to provide them more catch for Liquid.
Yeah, that extra bit of lockdown, and we've seen already Setsu, each time he's getting the chance to get that BKB off. If he doesn't get that BKB off, he dies to sort of this SK AA initiation every time.
They're making sure they give Landem the gold here. Monet actually having to back away from the creep wave. So Landem now has that blink. So they've got the blink and the hex. They have those quick ways to get the disable, potentially before Miracle is able to get that BKB off.
They can now try and commit him at the same time that Setsu does.
Yeah.
Make sure he just has the opportunity to just pound down on a hero, building up that in.
If they can kill Miracle before the fight starts, you look at the net worth, just like looking at the gold, all of that gold is fluctuated completely onto that Arc Warden. So the team fight and the damage is going to be coming out from Liquid is going to be pretty limited if they do get Miracle. And immediately they smoke up. They've got their Hex finished. They've got their double Blink daggers too. So many different forms of catch to start that fight. Liquid though, with this high ground claim, they will break the smoke.
They're in. Hex reveal. In fact, Setsu, he'll commit with the BKB pop. That's the big one. Miracle caught out. Liquid had to get everyone else out of there quickly in to make that play happen.
Those Blink daggers, the blink into the immediate hexes from both Landem as well as Setsu. Miracle was not prepared for that. Even though they had the vision, they caught them for just like a second or so when they were up on that high ground. But yeah, Miracle. Those long-range casts by a Shadow Shaman can catch you off guard.
Really is some beastly play from Setsu and the boys.
Yep.
Just showing the power of the OD. I think we saw, you know, he's played about 250 games on this hero. Very good win rate. He's very comfortable.
And they're making it work without a traditional way to start the fight. No like Centaur, no Tiny, no Sand King, no one else can just jump in. They're using it with just their Blink daggers and their hexes that they have.
Interesting there that probability is still favoring that at Liquid, but I'm looking at this OD and the way that they can quickly get these pickoffs on the high value cores. And I've got to say, I'd probably even favor it slightly the other way towards RNG. This, if they can keep doing this, get that instant disable off, killing Miracle at the start of fights, things are going to slow down. And this OD he's going to be this late game hero that just smashes through the lineup of Liquid.
Yeah, he's definitely terrifying. You just have to get on top of Miracle. If you do not kill this Arc Warden at the start of the fight, you're probably just going to get chased down and killed. Because the other ones, everyone else on the side of Liquid, they're kind of just like these meat bags for Miracle to sit in the back and do all that damage with that Mjolnir. But yeah, this OD is, I mean, Setsu is tremendously farmed. And Monet as well. That's the thing, is they have 2 scaling cores versus a 4 protect 1 strategy. The Enchantress is also farming too, but in this game, like Panel talked about, there's a lot of ways that she's countered because of that bubble that comes out.
I mean, you can just see on the network the fact that it is that small difference between the OD and the Arc Warden. No, Arc Warden, a hero with 2 Midases, effectively. This OD doesn't even have a Midas at all, but Setsu.
Save again.
He's keeping up. BKB's going to be popped by Miracle. Flyby starting to hit him from the side with the impetus. Buyback straight away from Arc, who wants to make sure this is a 5v5 as Monet commits with the BKB. Setsu's in with his own BKB, racking up the end as he punches into Rio. Sanity's is down. They've got the 2 big kills. Both Mind Control and Miracle are out of it. Setsu just cleaning up. Triple kill for this OD. As Dota Plus, where you're at right now, you cannot underestimate the power of Setsu. As we are, he'll get a kill, he's trying for the TPS, so they have the damage they want. Weehar will escape, but this OD is getting out of control. He's level 25. Every single fight, RNG able to set up for Setsu to do the damage.
They're forcing Monet to be that frontliner and force the BKB. Monet has an Eye of Scotty. He just BKBs, charges in, forces Miracle to use it, and then Setsu just runs rampant in the front.
He's in, the Hex is there. Liquid are going to come in with the counterplay. Power strikes out. They are punishing this RNG. They dove in for this one. Setsu's falling low. They've got to get back. Setsu falling a little low there. There's a TP over to the shrine. Mind Control. He's coming round, he's going to find the Mind Control's in! TP's cancelled, Setsu is dead! And just as quickly as we have this moment of brilliance from RNG, they seemingly throw it all away. Monet will be able to BKB and TP out of there. But diving the tier 3s, diving the barracks, I think they got a little carried away with themselves.
They definitely got carried away. They still can't underestimate how much damage and control there is from Liquid, and Flyby will get caught by the Yules. Also likely to get brought down from the
no!
Even the barrage over the tree line from
RNG, what have you done?
They had what, 90 seconds, right? Well, Mind Control bought back, but they had like 90 seconds without the Sand King as well as the Arc Warden. Mind Control forced the buyback, catches them completely off guard. under those tier 4s.
You've got to keep your cool here on the main stage.
You really do.
It's very easy to get carried away. Setsu, after that triple kill, that amazing fight from RNG, he could feel the crowd behind him. He knew he was powerful, but he wasn't that powerful to dive tier 4s. And they're going to start to pay for his Liquid. They're pushing back off the back of that Weehaw. Forced out of the circle. Combo still getting incredibly low here. Does manage to separate himself from RNG, so he'll be fine for now. Tempest double will get farmed up. 300 gold for Monet. They'll push back Liquid.
This is quite a crazy game here, going back and forth. The sheer amount of damage from both sides. If they do catch anybody, it really does seem like those initiations are going to be the most crucial thing in this game. Whoever gets the jump, whoever's able to chain lock down somebody before they get that BKB off is likely to win the fight. So very high chance of a very back and forth one coming out here. But RNG, they do have those 2 heroes that are scaling, though Liquid only has the 1. And Monet, Setsu, he's kind of been dwarfing him a bit here in this game because how much damage that OD is able to do. But he's 7-1 and 8 as well. He's having a fantastic game on this gyrocopter.
Sanity's is back up. RNG, we're going to look for that movement with smoke. Just picked up by Alfu, will get it sent out. Would not be surprised if we see RNG try and make a quick play. They do know that in these next moments, there's a couple of buybacks that are still on cooldown for Liquid, both that of mind controls and GHs.
Yeah.
And next time, if they could take a fight, try and focus on some tier 3s, they could have a good shot at taking a tier 3 tower, but they do have to hit the tower rather than trying to hit the heroes behind it.
I mean, this is RNG we're talking about here. We know how bloodthirsty these guys are as we see them throughout this entire tournament. Always looking for kill after kill. Now it looks like they're setting up to take a fight before that Roche does spawn. Spark rates are set up though.
They're making
all
it very
over the
hard
place.
to invade from this angle.
The D-ward happens, immediately you see Liquid kind of back up and get themselves in a more defensive stance.
Yep.
And all those spark rays continue to be laid down. Yeah, they're very prepared for this one. They're still just sitting here, setting up more spark rays just in case RNG does want to continue chasing forward. But Liquid is losing all their vision on the map too. We see 2 D-wards just coming out from RNG from that smoke actually. They get the top D-ward and they get the one that's in their jungle. So right now Liquid, a bit blind on the map. They have the 1 ward in the mid lane, and now they're going to get some information down bottom for a Miracle. Will they get the double in time? Just able to.
See what Liquid's next move is. Satanic stun for Monet. He's tanky.
He's trying to act as that front line, right? He's going to be dealing a lot of damage as well, but it gives a big distraction. If he just charges in onto Miracle, that's going to give Setsu a big opportunity to just sit back there and just wail on him as a SOD.
Oh yeah, I mean with the Satanic and the Skadi BKB, he absolutely can be that front line.
And the Skadi in this game, we talk about it a lot because of how good the item is overall, but we say versus ranged heroes, Arc Warden, ranged carry. You get hit by a Skadi proc, you're losing that 45 movement speed, 45 attack speed slow as well. Pretty painful if he is able to get on top of you. Sorry, 45% movement speed slow, sorry. Weehaw also starting to transition, still quite a ways behind the other cores in the game, the big beefy ones, but he's got his Aghanims now too, so he also can start packing quite a bit of a punch here with that Echo Saber slow.
So RNG just trying to get rid of that last tier 2 tower that stands on Liquid's map.
Look, they're just camping high grounds, waiting until they can get their next further items, just wanting to play around those spark rates as most as possible. And we will have those bounty runes coming out. It's also 40 minutes, so power runes ×2 will be spawning. We have an invis top, a haste rune bottom. Map control becoming more and more important to be able to guarantee that you get those DDs and arcane runes. Very scary.
Roche is up, Liquid. It's going to be scanned out by RNG, and RNG is certainly going to want to fight this, you would imagine. They have all the ultimates, the same to be said for Liquid. It's a little scary though for Liquid. We've seen in these 5v5 sets who does always get the chance to get a couple of hits off and back. Ooh, there's going to be a jumping attempt here from Weehaw. Weehaw.
4 steps.
Forced back up to the high ground. Setsu jumps in. It's not enough damage with the Sanity's Eclipse to quite get the kill. And Liquid, they know now with the Sanity's, they want to try and fight back. Arfu from the side goes for the feed script, but the stolen feed script for GH turns things around. The Bane will fall. Monet moving in on the front lines. He's trying to finish up Miracle, but Miracle's too tanky, can hold the distance. They'll turn back towards mind control. That's the first big kill as he's dead for 2 minutes. No buyback. The flat cannon hits around. Setsu will fall. We are Miracle. They've got to be careful. We are edged up. Miracle's BKB is popped. He'll TP out. As RNG will take the fight despite Setsu falling. Both We Are and Mind Control dead without buyback for 100 seconds.
See how much Monet is able to do inside of the fights. Look at the damage that's coming out from him there. The OD ulti, the Sanity's Eclipse, it looks like, I mean, Weehaw got the BKB off, right? It looks like it only clipped, I think, Mind Control, I think.
2 supports.
Or even the supports, yeah. But they got the BKB off before they could get the burst off onto Weehaw. And they will be able to get a kill because of that there, as Miracle claims himself back on the high ground. And they will just keep getting those right clicks. Number 25 approaching for Arc Warden.
Sort of having those 2 cores down. It doesn't look like RNG will be able to do anything with it because Setsu is also dead.
Yeah, it looks like he got Kuroki as well as Mind Control, but Weehaw did get that BKB off. Yeah. And Mind Control, his own BKB protecting him for quite a large amount of time, even though he does get chained hexed up afterwards, but it buys them time to isolate Setsu when he does commit forward onto Miracle here on the left side here in a second.
You see Weehaw wants to try and get back in at the end of this fight, stepping forward towards Monet, underestimating the damage that Flyby still had, ready to throw out with the impetus. Back towards the pit. Tempest doubles trying to push RNG away. On the high ground, a quick lift from GH. Starts to tickle with R4. Unlikely that Liquid are able to stop RNG getting away with this, with 2 of their cores still dead on Liquid. RNG can finish up the Roche, claim that Aegis, claim that G's.
Such a close game here. It's pretty much been within a 3K gold lead and within a 2K experience lead the entire game. Both teams just duking it out, 28-22. Non-stop team fights happening. Even though Liquid, you look at their draft overall and you're like, wow, they have some crazy amount of team fights. Well, RNG is more so, I mean, they have team fight between their OD and that gyrocopter, but besides that, they're more about the pick-off factor, and they're still able to bring it to Liquid in these fights. Just because of that sheer farm on the gyro and OD. Just do so much damage. 25 yet on the 25 now on Arc Warden. All right, so Spark Rates, the damage becomes absolutely insane, as we do know and love. We've seen this a couple times now on these big stages. And with a butterfly now too, we see this evasion. They can't even bring down the Tempest double in time to get the gold. Or maybe MKB's double queued up soon. Setsu might not even want one because he just wants to have more of his magic damage, but Monet definitely needing one, and he gets it right away.
I can certainly get behind this refresher build on Setsu.
Yeah.
We have
so
seen
much hints, double BKB, double hex. Like the double BKB really important for him because it's already down to 5 seconds. But yeah.
Yeah, because it means he can stay in the fight for that duration of time that Liquid aren't going to be able to do with their single use BKBs. And then you are going to find that opportunity to drop down the hammer when that BKB wears out for Liquid's cause.
And that hammer is going to hurt. That 12x multiplier when he's sitting at 200 int. How's everybody's int on the side of Liquid? The highest one is at 100 and my math's not working right now. 121. So they're gonna be doing. Yeah, they're gonna be taking quite a lot. Taking over 800 damage from just a single astral, from a single Sanity's Eclipse. So we'll build up as he does build up into force. DD rune on Monet. They're looking to play aggressive with this one here, down bottom. Setsu, looks like he wants to defend, and he's gonna go for Boots of Travel, it looks like, first. So that he can join his team down bottom. When they have this H and this cheese, they're trying to get a bit of a timing for themselves. Maybe trying to bait Liquid, because he hasn't bought the Boots of Travel just yet. He didn't show, he actually cleared the wave, and now he's picking up the Boots of Travel. So he was kind of hiding it a little bit there, in case Liquid did want to try to take a fight, thinking that it was only gonna be 4 heroes bottom. Little heads-up play there by Setsu.
I mean, is there a team sort of at this point that's saying, we don't need to be as hasty with our players, we can chill out, we can sort of let this go on, or do you think both are equally confident as this game draws on?
RNG have more farm on their dual cores, right? And they also have an Enchantress that can scale as well, while Liquid, they have just really the Arc Warden. Weehaw, he's starting to get some transition items, but RNG, they do look like they're feeling just a bit more comfortable here. Can never count out an Arc Warden, though. That is the one thing. Sometimes someone just gets caught by a quad or 10 or 15 Spark Rates and just dies inside of a team fight. We've seen it happen at a major.
Split push pressure, of course. The Tempest double. Constantly making sure one of the waves is pushed back against RNG's base.
Yeah, and even though you can itemize for an MKB to deal with the bubble when you're hitting versus heroes, MKB does not work on towers. So whenever Miracle is in position to just throw that magnetic field on the tower, Monet has a very hard time just walking forward and actually committing to do damage onto it.
And they go, they drop the wards. They'll start to put the pressure on Mind Control. He's in with the Burrow Strike. Monet falling incredibly low. The Hex lockdown's there as well as they'll burst him once.
Monet, the tree throw.
Prejudice takes him out immediately. We have, with the barrage of trees, finds the kill on Shaman, and they had to back up RNG. The Aegis push won't be successful. As Aegis is taken away in the tier 3 tower, it barely got scratched.
75 damage because of those magnetic fields. And Mind Control, he's chasing forward. They're throwing Spark Race aplenty. Afu trying to hide. Mind Control seems to know.
He's going to find him. Persistence from Mind Control as he hunts in the tree lines, catches out the second support. As RNG unable to get that push together, even with the Aegis.
That's why you always say, don't count out Arc Warden. One little disable comes out, you throw like 3-4 Spark Rates on top of it, and you just see how much damage Monet takes. Even an Ice Vortex plus Spark Rates, they're insane how much damage they do.
Now an attempt to push back down mid. Not the biggest window of time to get something done. Liquid, as supports will be back up in about 25, but we'll see it again here as how quickly Monet gets brought down that first time.
And even though he has Satanic and all that heal too, there's an AA Blast. He isn't able to get the Satanic off because he was completely chain lockdown, but Lanem, he just gets tree volleyed to death. They're looking for more.
Tried for the defensive Astral that will save Monet from the Ice Blast, and supports back in the game now, so Liquid is going to be a little careful, just using the Tempest double to trade as much damage as they can. And Liquid will back, not wanting to try and push into the 5-man defense of RNG quite yet. Still know that there is that big old threat of the Sanity's Eclipse. And that's the recipe in his backpack, so his intentions are revealed. Still a little bit of a way to go before he has the 2 Perseverances and money for buyback.
Yeah, not wanting to commit forward for that one. And Spark Race being set down all over the place. Even though they are smoked up, it does get broken. They get the
jump in straight away. Weehar's going to look for the counterplay, but Lana with the BKB can commit with the shackles. Sensu's in as well as his own BKB. Weehar gets himself out of the Serpent Wars. They've lost the 2 supports again. Both Lana and Arfu buy back immediately. Mind Control tries to go over the epicenter. Looking for Sensu. The pass by's there with the Ice Blast. Monet takes out. Miracle turns to focus in for Sanity. He's dropped down, but he's not quite enough to get the big kills. As Monet is dead. Another throw from Mind Control holds back Flyby. Flyby and Setsu still seeing if they can get anything done. The 2 supports from both sides falling. Monet being the big find though for Liquid, getting that gyrocopter. He feels the pressure as well, does expend the buyback to try and keep that fight going the way of RNG, but they cannot find Weehart, Miracle, or Mind Control themselves. All 3 staying alive on Liquid.
All 3 get their BKB off, so that's where the damage, they do have high physical damage coming out from the gyro, but Monet, he charged forward, he got kind of isolated. He really committed forward to try to kill Miracle there, but then he gets turned, he gets Bloodthorn, he gets hexed, he gets brought down so quickly by that magic damage. A great jump by Lanem there, though. The blink, the BKB, the hex, the quick shot.
He commits. He went in.
He really committed forward there to try to catch out Liquid. Well, Liquid, they were able to take that fight anyway with their positioning.
I mean, that one Astral, it brought a lot of the heroes down to easily less than half their HP. Things would certainly be different once Setsu's able to get the refresher, but as we say, still playing it safe in terms of saving for buyback. Top lane, Mind Control looks for the jump in.
He's just dead.
They're there waiting for him, and they're going to step forward for more. GH, he's got an Eon Disc. It's unlikely to save him. Will try and turn the Nightmare play. Won't do anything for the Rubik. As GH falls, double kill for Setsu. Liquid, they tried to step forward with just the 2 heroes, very split up. They'll be able to farm at the Tempest double as well here. As an extra 300 gold will be picked up by Flyby. As just as much as RNG were making mistakes earlier, Liquid making some mistakes themselves.
And there's the refresher. He's got Sanity's back up at 50. He has 60 stolen intelligence right now too.
Dude, he can just go in and drop the ult.
It's
somebody's gonna die. This is a very smart OD.
You or?
Well, I mean, it's second smartest. So we have a Miracle. Quick defensive play from Setsu with the Astral, the backup Ice Blast. And actually clip onto Monet and pass over Setsu. Setsu, he's on the front, does get forced back. But get rid of the double. BKB actually popped by Monet. This is going to mean that RNG do have to back off. Despite the fact that Liquid were only 4v5 for the next minute. Liquid with the Ice Blast hitting onto, I believe, at least 3 of them. It puts a stop to the push. And they'll be able to sit back, wait for GH to respawn before any action is forced.
Weeha is actually starting to be a pretty big deal in the fights too. This tree volley with this crit, he's gonna have the Daedalus finished up as well. He's really starting to hurt a lot versus the RNG heroes. The supports are just starting to disappear.
At 13, 5, and 12, you can see how many kills Weeha's racking up.
Yeah.
At this point, definitely still a game of buybacks though. He has to make sure that the money is there for both. Neither team really wanting to go fully in.
These type of games are just so fun to watch because of how much, there's so much damage and control coming in, but it's all about like, the initiations and the BKBs, who's able to get them off. And like you said, Setsu, with that refresher, with double sanities, he can easily chunk down heroes.
Miracle. Tempest double, looking for some action. And we'll try to kill it off. He's going to put the BKB to make sure that he doesn't feed that 300 gold away. It's very hard for them to kill that Tempest double when the BKB is available.
Yep, and he's just going to set up as many Spark Rays as possible before it does time out, giving them that extra little map control and a little bit of pressure versus these squishy supports.
Such a close game. Just
so close,
a 1k gold difference in it at 52 minutes in.
It's really just up to execution and fights. Now Liquid, this is their next big plan. Set up around that Roche area. It's going to be spawning soon. Get the Spark Rates everywhere. Start sending some creeps, Enchantress. Start tanking those.
I was going to say, you don't get more setup than this. The whole area just littered with Spark Wraiths.
And they have to just run through and tank them. Like, Flyby looks like he wants to try.
They're trying with the Glimmer.
They know they have to do this in order to be able to contest this Roche. If all these Spark Wraiths are set up before the fight, it'll be way too hard for them to disengage, or even just to walk in with when their BKBs are not available. They will have to pop the BKBs so early on, or just blink past.
Who's going to go for Roche first? Who's going to feel confident to start the attempt?
So they've got him. We know they have the MKB on the gyro, and we know how much magical damage the OD is doing. But the miss rate is going to start becoming a factor. The Butterfly on Miracle, as well as now Mind Control 25. I think that he had that a little bit ago. 50% Sandstorm, Slow, and Blind. This is actually really, really strong talent that we don't see hit too often on these rankings, so they don't hit 25 every single game. But this is pretty devastating if he is able to get inside of those front lines onto the OD.
Oh,
Weeha.
BKB's pop. Starts to try and walk his way off. Setsu's also going to put the BKB as they want to continue to poke into Weeha. Weeha will be able to get up to the high ground. The homing missile still connects upon him. He's glimmered, and RNG won't push up to the high ground with their own BKBs already being used. Tree volley. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. Setsu losing half of his health there. So the trees flying in from Weeha.
Yeah, they're healing him up though with Flyby. They at least have those Nature's Attendants to make sure that they don't have to back up and use one of their shrines, or actually they don't need, yeah, top shrine's actually used, but the bottom one's not. But they keep themselves around the area, and this is all it's about. Control the Roche.
And it does make it difficult for Setsu, as an OD, you want to go in and just start hitting people, but you have to be so wary of your positioning. You cannot stand in the same place for too long, as the whole area is going to be covered with trees.
Covered with trees, covered with Spark Wraiths, covered with Ice Vortex. A lot of things on the ground you got to be careful of. As Roche will be spotting, and it's going to be an Aghanims, not the Refresher Shard.
Oh, who's happy to get an Axe? Quite a few of these heroes, right? I mean,
quite a few. I think the Sand King, just for that long distance, like he can just stun in and then blink out a lot of times rather than committing himself so much. For Liquid, that is. While on the side of RNG, I think it's Enchantress, right? Enchantress or Lanim?
I was meant to have this.
Either one of them sound pretty good. As yeah, more level 25s coming out. How many people are level 25 in this game? Everybody except for the 5 positions.
At the rate we're going, they should get the chance to get them.
Yep. As long as they survive in the fights, they keep just dying because there's just so much damage.
We see so many times both teams just having to buy back on the supports.
Yeah, they just die immediately, they buy back, they run up to the fight, they're like, hey, I wanted some XP. As we see, continuous Spark Race set up, a Flyby. He knows his job. He's like, okay, I'll tank 1 or 2, back up for a second. Ensure that Liquid does not control the area too hard.
RNG.
Stalemate continuing.
They want to try and start something over Liquid's half of the map before going into Roche. They get the Hex from the low ground. Starting to poke onto Weehaw. He's actually going to jump in. Looks to go for the support straight away. They're on top of the Bane. Arfu's out of the fight. Does not have the luxury of buying back. It's unavailable. It's now Liquid. Mind control. Burrow striking away. Jumps in. He's a little scared of getting hexed. He's just trying to sort of wreck you the situation. They've got eyes for it. Flyby. That's the damage we're talking about. Weehaw. The trees with that Daedalus. Just destroying the Enchantress. There's nothing untouchable about her now.
Making their way now into the pit. There is a DD rune on Monet, and they do have their buybacks available now. Mafu as well as Flyby do have theirs. But this area, the Spark Rates are already starting to be set up. And this Roche is starting to drop pretty quickly here.
I don't think you're getting into the pit as RNG unless you want to commit with those buybacks. 3 versus 5, the damage that Liquid have. Taking Roche down at an incredible pace.
Who's taking
Axe is on the floor, is going GH.
It's gonna go to G. Okay, it's gonna go to GH.
I mean, you can respect that. This is a GH Rubik.
Absolutely.
Believe in the GH Rubik.
The frequency of spells stolen in this game could be really nice. And even if he's able to get Astral, like I said, Astral with an Aghanims, you get that increased cast range, you get that, of course, double charges, more multiple forms of safety, allow your teammates also to get BKBs off. And as we see, these fights are so much about who gets the jump off and who just instantly brings down a hero. I mean, he has a lot of different things he can steal with. Serpent Warden is probably the best ones, but yeah, there's lots of different things. And they make themselves out outside of that pit area with that Aegis and that cheese now. My Miracle also sitting at, you know, just a casual 10,000 gold.
Whoa.
That's why we're not even gonna look at the net worth advantages too much anymore, because you know everyone's pretty rich. It's all just buybacks.
It is always a good point to make, though. Says 10k gold in the bank. So Liquid that 6k lead. They're in reality sort of 4k behind before he buys something up with that. In terms of effective net worth.
Well, but then you also look at Monet and he's 8,000.
Oh,
so, you gotta look at that back and forth.
And then we end up having to do a lot of math. So in fact, let's not look at that at all.
Exactly.
Let's not look at that at all.
Liquid starting to set up here. They want to get this like just initiation, getting that high ground control. Super important in this game.
It's a scary push to make, but when the refresh orb's available for Setsu, pushing into a double sanities when RNG are going to have that high ground advantage, it's not going to be easy for Liquid.
It is starting to feel like Liquid is starting to get some good control of the game here, though, into these crazy later stages of the game, as an Aghanim's also now going to be delivered for an Arc Warden. So, you know, spawning those ruins, you can spawn ruins.
I don't think I've ever got the treat of seeing that one.
I actually don't think I have either.
Here we go. I mean, maybe he gets lucky. If he gets a DD, hands it over the way of Weehaw. Those trees.
No, he just wants bounty runes.
Okay.
He gets a DD right away.
Hey, there we have it. There we have it.
Give it a Weehaw.
Give it a Weehaw.
Yep.
Oh, I like the sound it made. I've never heard that
actually not heard that either.
I didn't know. Look at that. Whoa.
Oh, what's that one make?
Oh, that sounds...
Oh, he spawned a bounty.
Oh.
More gold. What's the cooldown even on it? 55.2. Oh, okay.
Not too bad.
It's not that bad.
You get out of every 10 double.
Yeah, and they've got the DD route now on the Tiny. So look at this. Weehaw's pinging on the trees. He's positioned over here. They're starting to set up the Spark Wraith trap.
Looking at the double. Weehaw.
They're trying to do the toss back play onto the Spark Wraith. They're trying for it.
They are trying. It's going to cost Weehaw that BKB charge.
We were hoping for it in this game, and it looks like they're actually trying to set up.
Setsu's in. Popping the BKB. He's going to slide straight past the race with the BKB active. But the BKB, of course, is not a long duration anymore. They have to make so much happen within those very few seconds.
And it's scary. There's that massive trap of Spark Wraiths.
You cannot go near here.
Can't go near that area.
You're going to get tossed straight into it.
Tossed or telekinesis. Monet commits forward. He's on Miracle.
Hey. Straight away, Monet.
He's dead. Exploded.
He is dead, and I believe he used his buyback before he died. He did. He's already used his buyback, so he doesn't have it for the second.
He's back up.
No, but sorry, his BKB. His BKB. He doesn't have the BKB for this fight.
He does not indeed.
Setsu coming forward. Setsu. He's in already, though. Weehaw picked up the double kill. Setsu. He's looking to try and turn a focus, but Mike Jones in.
Setsu.
The MP, the power strike. He's on top of Setsu. Setsu's dead. Well, buyback straight away. They've lost Lanham. RNG, they're going to have to use a lot of buybacks for this. They've got Miracle. Can they get both the trees? They are, but Flyby will be safe. The Nightmare and the Force staff gets him out of there.
He gets his cheese off as well, so he's back at full HP.
Setsu. blinking forward, trying to find a catch, but Liquid, they're on the high ground, and they are out of there. They're able to get themselves away. 4 buybacks being used by RNG as Liquid, they only lose Miracle.
And he has buyback available.
So this next 7 minutes of the game, RNG have got to be incredibly cautious. A core death now could mean the end of this game and the end of their hopes and dreams here at TI.
But we know how aggressive they are. They look like they want to set up to try to go
this
for some type
is a huge
here.
risk to take.
Absolutely, and they still have a lot of gold, right? Monet, he used his buyback. He still has 7,000 gold to spend. He hasn't bought up the Moonshard just yet.
I don't think
they
really go for something. They don't have a sanities. They don't have the refresher. I don't think RNG can make an aggressive play here.
They still have shrines that they can take too. So now they will back up. They will take these and they will spend their immense amount of gold on that gyrocopter any second now. And there it is. Oh, he actually gave the Enchantress the Moonshard instead of himself.
Whoa, what a bro.
Oh, that was
Monet.
What a guy.
I mean, the damage that Flyby kicks out and the safe distance that he's able to do so.
He also
can respect that.
He is going to have an Aghanims too, so it is going to give him that Tricore. He is packing a punch. He dies really easily, but he does hurt.
What a
he
team
is able to.
Yeah, Monet, what a team player. Also, another point, obviously Monet, he doesn't have buyback, Enchantress does. So effectively, there's going to be more use out of that Moonshard. If Monet's dead, that would have been a Moonshard that was eaten and taken to the grave. Flyby is going to be able to have that guarantee of getting back in the game and continue to getting the hits off. Does how much gold is he away from having the Ags and the buyback? About 700 gold, and have the Aghanims and buyback.
But all of Liquid, they're grouped up. They have all 5 buybacks.
They do.
Only has the one.
They know that they're in a very powerful position right now, Liquid.
And they've all got what? They're probably all queuing up the Boots of Travel / Boots of Travel 2 so they can buy back and come right back into the fight. Weeha's even queued up a second data list, and he has a DD inside of the bottle. We see those runes continue to be spawned by Miracle. So we are going to have to watch out for those crits with that tree volley.
Kuro's got his Dagon.
He's got the Dagon. He actually had an Ags queued up and he switched. He wants to just instantly bring down targets when their BKBs are gone. Not about that long ticking AA blast. He just wants to blow someone up as soon as BKBs
At this point, if they just burst someone straight away, without that buyback availability, the fight, it should just naturally fall in favor of Liquid.
Ooh, I just heard it again. Oh, he got a bounty rune that time. And another bounty rune. I love late game Dota now. It's gotten so crazy.
It's getting crazy. 63 minutes here on the main stage between Liquid and RNG. 39 to 27, 17K for Liquid, as we say. Still this rocky period for RNG. 4-5 minutes until buybacks are back online. Liquid are absolutely going to want to try and pressure this.
And again, you see them setting up the trap. If someone walks out too far, the toss back or the lift back is likely to happen. They really want it to happen here in this game. Flyby is stepping up. Weeha, they're glimmering him.
I mean, they know, RNG. They have
to know.
They're not going to fall for that.
He's even standing on it. He's like, all right, Weeha, you got a target to toss back to. Because he didn't take the toss no target in this game, since he has a core that transition, so he wants to again.
It's sort of risky as well, right? If Weeha wants to blink high ground, make that commitment, he has to pop BKB first, because he knows that instant hexes are going to come out.
Yes.
So then if he does that, he's committing a BKB charge, and that's the point where RNG themselves may see the chance to collapse back in on Liquid, knowing that Weeha won't have that magic immunity.
Yeah. Weeha. Throwing some trees at the supports. Alpha taking half his HP from that one.
Yeah, just look at this as well, because of this Arc Warden. He's got an active DD and a DD in a bowl. There's just DDs for days on Weeha. He is going to have a very high uptime on the chance of getting constant double damage runes.
You don't even have to back up and collect power runes. Don't have to back up and collect your bounties. You can just keep spawning them.
I mean, that's so 2018, you know. This is 2019. And Miracle just giving them all the runes that they need. Not for long. We're only halfway through the year, Giannis. What's going to happen?
TI's all that matters. More runes, another arcane rune, so Miracle, he's going to be able to spawn runes even more frequently.
He jumps in. He tried for the toss back, but this is the problem. Instant hexes are there. We are dead. That's the risk he plays when he jumps in without using the BKB. And Miracle, now they'll move in for more. Look at the X on the backline. There's collapsing on the Miracle. Miracle's dead as well. Flyby is surrounding the jungle. They'll be able to fire up some extra gold on top of those 2 core kills. Ooh.
little bit of missed micro there from Miracle. He sent his double and he's actually stood still with his hero for a second. And RNG, they have that ward on the high ground there. They saw him standing still for a second. Setsu with no hesitation jumping forward.
I mean, that is a huge sigh of relief as well for RNG with Miracle dead. By the time he's back in the game, that whole duration of the buybacks being on cooldown is going to be pretty much over.
Yep, and they forced Weehaw to buy back and run all the way back to the fight.
That was, Weehaw trying to get in like that.
They're trying hard
about
to do
the
the
risk. It's never going to work.
It's too risky.
Look, there's so much instant catch from RNG. That play is probably only going to work 5% of the time.
Yep.
If they've got their keyboards up, like, I don't know.
They're prepared for it. They know it's coming. I mean, if we know it's coming, they know it's coming for sure. So they are prepared for it every single time with those quick hexes and quick fingers.
Yeah, there's no hesitation from RNG.
Mind Control will kill that DD rune up top with his illusion, and Roche is back up. So Refresher Shard and an Aghanims now. And there's a lot of fun things that can happen, right? We do have a Shadow Shaman in the game. Shadow Shaman's level 25. Shadow Shaman has an Aghs. Give him this Refresher Shard. They're probably going to give it a sense.
I just want to see the triple sanities. I'm pretty sure you just need to steal the tiniest bit of a triple sanities.
But the triple wards
is going to kill people. Well,
the wards. Give it to him. Did they give it to him? They did.
Yeah, but it's not going to be triple.
I mean, he's got the double.
He's got quite a bit of time for his own refresher.
He's got the other one queued up, but yeah. The potential is there for lots of fun things.
Wait, who got the axe? Oh, Setsu, right.
They end up giving it to Setsu. Yeah, he had it queued up. 67 minutes in.
And still no real way of telling which way this game's going to fall.
Nope, it's just so much up to who gets the jumps and who executes the fights better. Throw the late game predictions out the window.
I think overall, RNG, they're probably kicking themselves a little bit more. When we sort of look back to that dive up top, definitely a stage of the game where I think RNG could have really got themselves ahead. That mistake did cost them, sort of brought the game to this point where Liquid, they've kept it all even, they've forced back. The pressure has been on RNG, but now their buybacks are coming back available. Liquid, that whole 7 minutes, were unable to break into the high ground, make anything happen. They're going to try for a jump now onto the supports outside of the base, but the safety's there. Astral from Setsu keeps Lanham out of harm's way and away from the Tempest double. They'll turn. Easy money for RNG. It's a 2K difference. Who's going to slip up? Who's going to make that mistake? That's what it all comes down to here on the main stage. The pressure is on for both of these teams, especially so in this game too for RNG. Down a game already in this best of 3 in the lower bracket.
I'm very hopeful for some crazy plays coming out. Some team fight happening, and then we see Lanem just backdoor the base or something with some Aghanim Serpent Wards.
I mean, that could happen.
There's the potential.
And we could also see Miracle backdoor in the base. You know, there's rap potential on both halves. And especially so if Weehaw gets in as well, he can make short work of the towers too.
Monet. Well, just pop that Titanic. They won't kill the Tempest double in time. Double Sanity's ready.
Monet. He's got the money. Is he? I guess at this point he's definitely buying the Moonshot for himself. No one else really needs it. Setsu's already got one. And not going to be giving one to the supports.
Yep, you'd imagine so. Hey, I mean, a Bane with a Moonshard though, come on.
Okay, sure. Right-click Bane, I remember.
It's crazy how the Bane has the 40% XP gain talent and he's still not 25. Poor Apu. Just getting punished. 14, 0, 14, and 14.
What are you taking at 25 on a Bane anyway nowadays?
I mean, the Fiend Script duration could definitely just change the tides of the fight if you're able to get this situation. I don't think he's really going to get brain saps off anyway, so might as well go for the big play, right?
See what they can do here. The fight's going to begin. The Ice in the trees as well. It's just destroying the tower. Monet is dead. Immediately, Lennon will drop the ones, but he's gone. The Linkers pop. That will allow them to control Setsu with the Yules. Setsu's not messing around. PKP and a blink out as he has to get out of there. They lose 2 heroes immediately. RNG to the volley of trees from Wii. They cannot push into this tiny very easily at all.
He killed them just in no time.
With one spell.
He clicked one button.
He gave them the... What button is it? I won't say that. Tree front, tree volley.
Tree volley.
It hurts. It really does. It really does. And as we're saying, he has consistent double damage runes.
Every single time he will have a DD in the fight.
Thanks to the Aghanim's Arc Warden.
Oh, what do you even... Trying to find a solution. I mean, they just have to try to catch him, but Weehaw just gonna now sit in the back for the most part for the next like 2 minutes or so, unless he's trying to actually commit forward here on the flyby. Double crit. They will be able to clean up that double. The range racks looks like the catapults will bring it down this time, but it's a 70-minute range racks. They're pinging. The Arcane Rune is prepared. Miracle's gonna probably pick that one up, set up more Spark Wraiths, and they're trying to go for the racks here.
They don't want to buy back on Monet. They want to try and hold the best they can without having to use it. And maybe Liquid can poke it out. Setsu forces out the BKB from Miracle. Slide away for now.
Flyby. The Spark Wraiths. Okay, he's got the Aegis still. He's really starting to eat quite a lot of those there, as he doesn't seem to really care.
Hey, just soaking them up.
But now, is it enough to bring him down? They're gonna pop the Aegis.
Just time and attention drawn away from the melee racks and from the fact that Monet's still dead. And Monet will be back up. They don't have to use his buyback. They keep it safe. Miracle
is committing for it. They're actually gonna pop the glyph to protect it.
That's another barrier crossed by Liquid, bit by bit. Breaking down the defenses of RNG as Liquid will reform back outside of the base. They know that they're going to have the full 5-man back in the game, RNG. Ready for the hold.
It's crazy when you just spawn your own Arcane Rune and then you just can spawn more runes faster and set up like these ridiculous constant Spark Wraiths, 1.2-second cooldowns. It's just insane how much control they have inside of the fight in these areas. The supports just walking into this is brutal.
And it's just awesome to see, you know, at this stage, this deep into the competition, we're just seeing new ways of play.
Yep.
New heights of the game.
AA Blast. Not going to connect onto Monet there. Still dropping low to those sparks, though.
RNG get themselves out and over. Setsu find himself an Arcane Rune. Wouldn't be too shabby with the old Sanities and Refresher Orbs. Those big cooldowns getting taken down a little bit.
30 seconds until Weehaw has
the trees. But you get these popping the trees. The trees, they're hot. Monet. Every single time, whoever gets caught in that volley has to immediately escape. They're now in threat of maybe even losing Flyby. Astral will be able to try and save the trees again. This damage done by Weehaw.
They want more.
It's just 1,200 hits every single time. Setsu is going to jump. They've got the Hex control under mind control, but he's forced down to the low ground. The BKB is being used by Setsu. The juke at the tree volley. Monet and Setsu looking for the wraparound. BKB is unavailable for Setsu, though. He has to be very cautious about how he commits. Flyby buying back.
They know this vision on this high ground. Liquid already starting to ping it out. They've got the gem available too. They will be able to clear those. 400 gold for an Obs Ward for Kuroki. Top though, look at Lanem. He's feeling sneaky.
Oh. I mean, that's very pushed in this top lane.
They've got Miracle already TPing back though.
Backdoor protection will be down a little bit. We'll see how if that is long enough for them to get in.
The volley.
Oh, Afu! There is just no hope for anyone held underneath that damage. And at the same time, Jarrett saved for now by the Astral Setsu. Trying to get him out of there. They'll turn towards mind control. The BKB down from Monet. Commits onwards towards Kuroki. Chasing down the AA. Glimmer King keeps Kuro safe. Back over towards the bigger focus. Shackles are attempted. Astral's going to be down. They've lost Lanham. He's dead for 2 minutes. Flyby sitting back, offering up the impetus. They'll kill off mind control. GH tries to jump forward. Setsu's back in with the BKB. They'll kill off the Tempest double. As mind control buys back.
Oh my god, the tree volley Setsu. 2 crits. And another crit.
Oh, it hurts. God. It hurts so bad.
The frequency of crits because of these data line.
It's hey, it seems like he's hitting a crit on every tree.
Pretty much, it does seem to be. My god. So hard to
I mean, how do you fight this? How do you stop the Tiny from sitting at the side? Are you just hoping they're going to run out of trees soon?
They're starting to. There's not that many left in that area, but Liquid will finally perch up and get the first set of racks of the game at 75 minutes in.
We're going to start seeing what Kuro bringing out the GG branches and planting them around Weehaw.
That would be fun. I think this might be the most current gold I've ever seen. 18,000 on Miracle.
Whoa. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
You know, he did do well at
They
TI.
got control. Monet, getting brought down.
He's got buyback. He's got buyback. He's going to be Setsu coming on the back lines. Barrage strikes out from Nitro. He's revving up the epicenter. He's on top of Setsu, but We Are's dead. They've managed to eliminate the threat of the Tiny. Triple buybacks from Liquid. They want to keep the pressure on. Telekinesis dragging back the Oni. They've got through the Linkers. They've got through his life. Setsu is gone. 5 versus 3. Liquid pushing in. No support buybacks available from RNG. And do they have the cooldowns? What are we seeing? Refresher is available for Setsu. He can come in with another Eclipse. But it's the mid towers slowly being sieged by Liquid. As the first tier 4 will fall.
There's no trees in this area. That's the one thing that Liquid does not have right now.
That's Weehar's one weakness.
Yep.
He needs the trees.
A Miracle bringing down the tier 4s. The second one down to 600.
Honestly,
they look happy with that. They're backing up.
I know I joke, but maybe you do want to bring some GG brushes over. Start just doing a little bit for the environment, planting those trees.
Just who does? They don't even have room for it.
I mean, that's the thing. It's I guess it's a little awkward with the inventories if you start placing down trees in the enemy's base.
We see Miracle is really starting to get pressured though by Flyby inside of these fights. He's starting to not pay attention to his hero, and he's just getting impetus down, but they still do have great control as the rest of them are still dealing so much damage and control versus RNG. Setsu really trying to hold on to double sanities. You see him, he's holding on to his BKB and his refresher so often in these.
Whoa.
And Roche, is this going to be the one shot?
It's not going to be a one shot, surely. Yeah, it won't be, not at this stage. Roche is surely too strong. He's got a lot of Wraiths down. I mean, how much? Maybe I'd say 50%, 40%. Hang on, RNG! They're in. Mind Control's going to try and come back in with a bonus strike on a fly, but X out. Setsu drops the first sanity. They've got the lockdown. Astel's going to be there. They'll move in. Monet with the BKB up towards the high ground. Looked for the kill with that Hex out. They should be able to get him. Setsu continue to rack up the in. He'll keep himself safe. Kill Miracle. Miracle. He has no buyback. Dead for 2 minutes.
But Setsu's isolated.
And RNG have lost everything for getting Miracle. Once again, it's cost them 5 lives.
And that's got to be it now at this point.
They don't have Miracle, they don't have Mind Control, but the last 3 of them, there's got to be a little bit of pushing power in the...
Draw the line down
for them. They're going to go straight up the top.
Tiny.
He's ready. Looking to end the game with We Are, Kuro, and GH alive. They'll go straight on towards the tier 4s. Deso's picked up by GH. GG. It's scored. Liquid take game 2 at 78 minutes in. Taking the series 2-0, knocking RNG out of the competition, and Liquid, they'll continue to just look stronger and stronger as they make this road through the lower bracket. They're moving on, Fog.
And holy crap, Weeha, right? In this game, sure, you see he's getting overshadowed by everybody else. You know, Miracle with this ridiculous Arc Warden farm, but Weeha, these tree volleys, time and time again, just bringing down Monet. Monet just got shredded in every single fight.
Without that tree volley.
Let's see the damage numbers. Let's have some fun right here.
There was definitely potential for RNG in those fights, but they just could not withstand this output of damage that We Are was able to get him from a distance. So we got 72,000 hero damage done by We Are, and of course Miracle with those spark rates all added up throughout the game. I believe probably the second highest amount of hero damage we've seen so far this TI9, 126,000 hero damage done.
And look at damage received, because these are also sometimes that are crazy. 240,000 damage received by Miracle in this game. Some crazy numbers coming out. 900 last hits. Probably some, records being broken all over the place. We'll have the Haas or somebody tell us about those, but what a game. Both teams fighting it back and forth. Looked like anybody could have taken it, but Liquid overall, a bit more perseverance and a bit more control inside of those fights.
Crazy, crazy game 2 here on the main stage, but Liquid, they come out on top, taking the series 2-0. They'll win and move on, and we'll see if they're one of some of the belief of the panelers. Liquid, are they back on form?